Hey, you made it. I'm so happy you're here with me tonight. Are you all cozy? Maybe you're tucked under a soft blanket, feeling warm and safe. Or maybe you've got one leg sticking out because you're a little wild like that. I like that about you. Wherever you are, I'm glad you're here, ready to listen to a quiet story that's going to help you feel calm and sleepy. Before we start, I want to know something about you. Where are you right now? Are you in your bedroom, curled up in bed? Or maybe you're on a couch with a fluffy pillow, and what time is it where you are? Is it late at night with stars outside your window? Or maybe it's early evening and you're just starting to relax. I love hearing about where you are and what time it is. It makes me feel like we're sharing this moment, like two friends talking in the dark. I read your answers sometimes when I'm up super late, feeling like a sleepy raccoon with big, tired eyes. So tell me, where are you listening from and what time is it? I'm waiting to hear. Tonight we're going to talk about something special. It's a story about a long time ago when life was very different. Our story is called What Women Feared Most During Childbirth and More. It's a gentle story full of soft moments and quiet thoughts. It's about people who lived in a time when houses were made of wood and straw, and life was hard but kind of cozy too. We're going to talk about what it was like for women who were going to have babies and what scared them. But don't worry, this isn't a scary story. It's a calm one, meant to make you feel safe and ready to drift off to sleep. Let me set the scene for you. Picture a little village hundreds of years ago. The houses are small, with roofs made of straw that rustle when the wind blows. The paths are muddy and there are chickens clucking in the yards. People work hard all day, carrying water, making bread, and taking care of their families. In this village, there's a woman named Agnes. She's kind and a little funny, and she's going to have a baby soon. But sometimes she feels scared. Having a baby was a big deal back then, and women like Agnes worried about it a lot. They didn't have hospitals or fancy doctors like we do now. They had midwives, women who knew a lot about babies, and they had their friends and family to help. But still, it was scary. Why was it scary? Well, let's think about it. Imagine you're Agnes living in that little village. You're excited to meet your baby, but you've heard stories. Stories about how having a baby can hurt a lot. Stories about how sometimes things go wrong and the baby doesn't come out okay, or the mom gets really sick. Those stories make your heart beat a little faster, don't they? But Agnes doesn't let those worries take over. She keeps busy and she finds comfort in the little things like the warm fire in her house or the sound of her kids laughing outside. We're going to follow Agnes through her day and we'll see how she finds peace even when she's scared. This story is going to be slow and gentle, like a lullaby. It's meant to help you relax, to make your eyelids feel heavy, and to let your mind drift. We're going to talk about Agnes's life, her home, her family, and how she gets ready for sleep each night. We'll talk about the things that made her feel safe, even when she was worried about having her baby. And we'll talk about how, no matter what, sleep always came to her like a soft hug from the night. Let's start by imagining you're in that village with Agnes. Close your eyes for a moment and picture it. The air smells like wood smoke and fresh bread. The sky is turning pink as the sun sets. You hear a goat bleating somewhere nearby and the wind is soft, brushing against the trees. It's a quiet place, a simple place. There are no loud cars or bright screens like we have today, just the sounds of the village settling down for the night. Can you feel it? Can you feel how calm it is? That's what we're going to explore tonight, how people like Agnes found peace in a world that was hard but beautiful. Now let's talk a little more about Agnes. She's not a queen or a princess. She's just a regular person like you or me. She has a small house with a dirt floor and a fire in the middle. She has 2 kids already, and they're always running around, getting muddy and giggling. Agnes loves them so much, even when they make her tired. She's got a husband who works in the fields, and he comes home with dirt on his hands and a big smile. They all sleep in one big bed together, all squished up, because that's how they stay warm. It's crowded, but it feels nice, like everyone is close and safe. Agnes is thinking about her new baby a lot. She's excited, but she's scared too. Back then, having a baby was a big adventure. There were no machines to check on the baby, no doctors with fancy tools. Women like Agnes had to trust their bodies and the women around them. The midwives knew a lot. They knew how to help the baby come out, how to make the mom feel better. But sometimes, things didn't go the way they hoped. That's what Agnes worries about when she's lying in bed at night. She wonders, will I be okay? Will my baby be okay? Those thoughts make her heart feel heavy, but she tries to push them away. Let's think about what it was like to live in Agnes's time. There were no electric lights, so when the sun went down, the world got dark. People lit candles or kept a fire going, but it wasn't bright like our houses today. The darkness was part of life, and it helped people know it was time to rest. Agnes's day started early with the rooster crowing. She'd get up, stretch her arms, and start her work. She'd fetch water from a well, carrying a heavy bucket. She'd make bread, stirring flour and water with her hands. She'd feed the chickens and check on the goat. All these little tasks kept her busy, and they helped her feel strong, even when she was scared. When Agnes thought about having her baby, she'd talk to other women in the village. They'd sit together, maybe sewing or spinning wool, and share stories. Some stories were happy, about bobbies who came out crying loud and strong. Some stories were sad, about times when things didn't go well. Agnes listened, and she learned. She learned that having a baby was hard, but it was also something women had done forever. That gave her a little bit of courage. She'd think, if they did it, I can do it too. Let's take a moment to imagine Agnes's house. It's small, with walls made of wood and mud. The roof is straw, and it makes a soft sound when the wind blows. Inside, there's a fire in the middle, and the smoke curls up to a hole in the roof. The floor is just dirt, packed down hard from people walking on it. There's a table where Agnes makes food, and a few stools where the family sits. The bed is in one corner, piled with blankets and stuffed with straw. It's not fancy, but it's home. It's where Agnes feels safe, even when she's worried about her baby. Now let's think about you again. Are you still cozy under your blanket? Is your room nice and quiet, or maybe you hear a little sound like a clock ticking or the wind outside? I hope you're feeling calm, ready to hear more about Agnes and her world. This story is going to take us through her day, step by step, until she's ready to sleep. We'll see how she works, how she laughs, how she rests, and we'll see how, even with her worries, she finds a way to close her eyes and let the night take her. Back in Agnes's village, everyone knew each other. If Agnes needed help, her neighbors were there. If she was scared about her baby, she could talk to the midwife or her sister or her friend down the path. They'd sit by the fire, and the midwife would say, "Don't worry, Agnes, you're strong, your body knows what to do." Those words helped. They made Agnes feel like she wasn't alone. And that's a big part of our story tonight, how people helped each other, even when things were scary. Let's talk about the midwife for a minute. The midwife was a woman in the village who knew all about bobbies. She wasn't a doctor, but she had seen lots of bobbies born. She knew how to help moms feel better, how to make sure the baby came out safely. She'd bring herbs to make tea, or she'd rub the mom's back to help with the pain. Agnes trusted her, but she still felt nervous. What if something went wrong? What if the midwife couldn't help? Those thoughts came to Agnes sometimes, especially at night when everything was quiet. But Agnes had a trick for dealing with those worries. She'd keep her hands busy. She'd spin wool into thread, or she'd stir the pot of pottage, a kind of thick soup, over the fire. Doing those little tasks made her feel better. It was like her hands were saying, "You're okay, you're strong." And when she was done, she'd feel tired in a good way, ready to rest. That's something we'll talk about more in our story, how working hard helped people like Agnes sleep better. Let's imagine the village at night. The sun has gone down and the sky is full of stars. The houses are dark, except for the soft glow of fires inside. You can hear crickets chirping and maybe a dog barking far away. The air is cool and it smells like grass and smoke. Agnes is inside, sitting by the fire with her family. Her kids are telling stories, their voices soft and sleepy. Her husband is mending a tool, humming a little tune. It's a peaceful moment, even with Agnes's worries about her baby. Tonight, as we tell this story, I want you to feel that peace too. I want you to imagine you're in Agnes's village, sitting by her fire. You're warm, you're safe, and you're ready to hear more. We're going to walk through Agnes's day from morning to night. We'll see how she works, how she laughs, how she loves her family. And we'll see how she finds a way to rest, even when she's scared. This story is like a soft blanket, wrapping you up and helping you feel calm. Let's talk about why this story matters. A long time ago, people like Agnes didn't have all the things we have now. They didn't have bright lights or phones or cars. Their lives were simple, but they were full of love and hard work. When Agnes was scared about having her baby, she didn't have a computer to look up answers. She had her friends, her family, and her own heart. She learned to trust herself, and she learned to let go of her worries when it was time to sleep. That's something we can learn from her, how to let go, how to rest, even when we're scared. Now let's think about sleep for a moment. Sleep is like a gift. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to be perfect to get it. You just have to let it come. Agnes knew that. Even on days when she was worried, she'd lie down on her straw bed, pull the blanket up, and let the night take her. She'd hear her kids breathing, feel her husband's warmth, and know that everything would be okay. That's what we're going to explore in this story, how Agnes found peace, how she found sleep, even in a world that was sometimes scary. Let's go back to the village one more time. Picture Agnes sitting by the fire. The flames are low now, just a soft glow. Her kids are asleep, their little faces calm. Her husband is snoring just a little and it makes her smile. She's thinking about her baby, about the day it will come. She's scared, but she's also hopeful. She knows she's strong. She knows she's not alone. And soon she'll lie down, close her eyes, and let sleep come. That's what I want for you tonight. I want you to feel safe, to feel calm, to feel ready to sleep. This story is going to take you there, step by step. We're going to walk with Agnes through her day, through her worries, through her quiet moments. And by the end, you'll be ready to close your eyes just like she did. So are you ready? Are you cozy? Let's start our story nice and slow and let it carry you to sleep. Imagine you're lying in bed just like Agnes will be later tonight. Your blanket is soft, your pillow is cool. The room is quiet, maybe with a little sound of the wind or a clock ticking. You're safe, you're warm, and you're ready to hear about Agnes's world. We're going to talk about her morning, her work, her family, and her fears. We're going to talk about how she finds peace, even when she's scared about having her baby. And we're going to talk about how she sleeps, night after night, in a world that's so different from ours. Let's take a deep breath together, in and out. Feel your shoulders relax, feel your worries slip away just for now. This story is for you. It's a story about a woman who lived a long time ago, who worked hard and loved her family. It's a story about what scared her and how she kept going anyway. It's a story about sleep, how it came to her, how it held her, how it made everything okay. So where are you right now? Are you in a big city with lights outside your window? Or maybe you're in a small town where it's quiet and dark. What time is it? Is it late with the moon high in the sky? Or is it early and you're just settling in? I'm picturing you all cozy and ready to listen. I'm picturing myself sitting by a fire like Agnes telling you this story. And I'm so glad we're here together. Let's talk about Agnes one more time before we move on. She's a woman who loves her family, who works hard every day. She's scared about having her baby, but she's strong too. She knows that life isn't perfect, but it's good. She knows that sleep isn't something you have to fight for, it's something you let happen. And tonight we're going to follow her step by step until she's ready to sleep. We're going to see how she lives, how she laughs, how she rests. And we're going to let her story help us rest too. Okay, my friend, let's get ready to dive into Agnes's world. Let's imagine her village, her home, her life. Let's think about what it was like to be her, to be scared but strong, to be tired but hopeful. This story is going to be slow and gentle, like a soft song. It's going to wrap you up and carry you to sleep. So take another deep breath, get cozy, and let's begin. Good night, my friend. Let's go to Agnes's village together. Let's imagine a little village, a long, long time ago. Maybe it was a few hundred years back, when the world was very different from today. This village was tucked in a quiet valley where hills hugged it on all sides. The paths were muddy, squishing under your feet when you walked. The houses had roofs made of straw, like big piles of dry grass stacked up to keep the rain out. Life in this village was slow, like a lazy river moving along. It was hard too, because people worked a lot. But there was something gentle about it, something soft and calm, like a warm blanket on a cold night. In this village, women did so many things to keep their families going. They carried water in heavy buckets from a well far away. Their arms got tired, but they kept going. They made bread, pushing and pulling the dough with their hands until it was soft and ready to bake. They fed chickens, milked goats, and sewed clothes with needles and thread. And sometimes, when they sat together by a fire, they talked in quiet voices. They shared stories, happy ones and scary ones. One thing they talked about a lot was having babies. Bringing a new baby into the world was a big deal. It was exciting, like waiting for a special gift. But it was also scary, like standing at the edge of a dark forest, not knowing what was inside. Having a baby was a joy, something that made everyone smile. A new baby meant laughter, tiny hands, and new hope for the family. But there was a shadow, too. A shadow is like a dark spot that follows you even when the sun is shining. For women in this village, that shadow was fear. They were afraid of the pain that came with having a baby. It hurt a lot, and there was no way to make it stop completely. They also worried about the unknown, the things they couldn't see or know for sure. What if the baby didn't cry when it was born? A baby's cry was a sign it was healthy and strong. If it was quiet, that could mean something was wrong. And what if the mother got so sick she couldn't get up again? Those thoughts were heavy, like carrying a big rock in your heart. These worries weren't loud. They didn't shout or make a fuss. They were quiet, like whispers in the dark. Women shared them when they sat by the fire, their voices soft so the children wouldn't hear. They'd say, "I heard about a woman in the next village," and then their voices would get even quieter. They'd talk about how the midwife helped or how a mom got better after a hard birth. These stories were like a map, helping them find their way through the scary parts. The women listened to each other, nodding, holding hands. It made them feel less alone. Let's picture this village a little more. Close your eyes if you want and imagine you're there. The air smells like dirt and grass with a little bit of smoke from the fires. The houses are small, made of wood and mud, with straw roofs that look soft but scratchy. The paths are bumpy, with puddles here and there. Chickens cluck and run around, pecking at the ground. A goat is tied to a post, chewing on some leaves. The sky is big and wide, maybe turning pink as the sun starts to set. It's a simple place, a quiet place. There are no cars, no bright lights, no loud noises like we have today. Just the sound of the wind, the animals, and people talking softly. In this village, everyone worked together. If a woman was going to have a baby, her neighbors would help. They'd bring food, like a pot of warm soup, or they'd watch her other kids so she could rest. The midwife was the most important helper. She was a woman who knew all about babies. She wasn't a doctor like we have now, but she had seen so many births. She knew how to help a mom feel better, how to make sure the baby came out safely. She'd bring herbs to make tea or rub the mom's back to ease the pain. Everyone trusted the midwife, but even she couldn't promise everything would be okay. That's what made it so scary. Let's think about a woman named Agnes. She lived in this village in a little house with her family. Agnes was kind, with a smile that made you feel warm. She had 2 kids already, and they were always running around, getting muddy and laughing. Agnes was going to have another baby soon, and she was excited but also scared. She'd heard stories from other women, stories about how hard it was, how it hurt, how sometimes things went wrong. Those stories stayed in her mind, like a song you can't stop humming. But Agnes didn't let them take over. She kept busy, carrying water, making bread, hugging her kids. Those things helped her feel strong. Life in the village was different from our lives today. There were no hospitals with bright lights and machines. There were no cars to take you places fast. If you needed water, you walked to the well with a bucket. If you wanted bread, you mixed flour and water with your hands and baked it over a fire. If you wanted light at night, you lit a candle or kept the fire going. Everything took time and everything took work, but that work made people feel connected to their world. It made them feel like they belonged. When women like Agnes thought about having a baby, they didn't have books or computers to tell them what to do. They learned from other women, their moms, their sisters, their friends. They'd sit together, maybe sewing or stirring a pot of soup, and talk. They'd say, "When my first baby came, it was so hard, but then I heard her cry and it was worth it." Or they'd say, "The midwife told me to breathe slow and it helped." These talks were like a warm hug. They made Agnes feel like she wasn't alone. Even when she was scared, she knew other women had been scared too, and they made it through. Let's imagine a day in the village. The sun is just coming up and the sky is soft and gray. A rooster crows loud and proud, telling everyone it's time to wake up. Agnes opens her eyes, stretches her arms, and gets out of bed. Her house is small, with a dirt floor and a fire in the middle. The smoke curls up to a hole in the roof. She steps outside and the air is cool. She hears birds singing and sees a neighbor waving from across the path. Agnes smiles and waves back. She feels the baby inside her moving a little, and it makes her heart feel big and full. But then she remembers the stories, the ones about Bobbies who didn't cry or moms who got sick. Her smile fades for a moment and she feels that heavy rock in her heart again. She takes a deep breath and starts her day. She walks to the well, her bucket swinging in her hand. The path is muddy and her shoes get a little wet. She doesn't mind. The well is far, but the walk is quiet and it gives her time to think. She thinks about her baby, about how she'll hold it soon. She thinks about the midwife who promised to be there, and she thinks about her kids who need her to be strong. When Agnes gets to the well, she sees another woman there. Her name is Mary and she's older, with gray hair tied in a bun. Mary smiles and says, "Good morning, Agnes. How's that baby doing?" Agnes smiles back and says, "It's kicking a lot today." They laugh and Mary tells a story about her own kids, how they kicked so much she thought they'd jump right out. Agnes listens and the heavy rock in her heart feels a little lighter. Talking to Mary makes her feel better. It's like the stories chase the shadows away. Let's picture the well. It's a big circle of stones with a wooden bucket tied to a rope. The water is deep down, cool and clear. Agnes pulls the rope and the bucket comes up heavy with water. She pours it into her own bucket and it sloshes a little, splashing her hands. The water is cold, but it feels good. She looks around and the valley is waking up. Smoke rises from the chimneys and kids run out of houses, chasing each other. It's a busy place, but it's calm too, like everyone knows what to do. Agnes walks back home, her bucket heavy but her steps steady. She's thinking about her day. She'll make bread, feed the chickens, and check on her kids. She'll talk to her neighbors, maybe sit with them later and share more stories. And all the while, she'll carry that little bit of fear about her baby. But she's not alone. The village is full of women who know what she's feeling. They've all been scared and they've all kept going. That's what makes the village special. It's a place where people help each other no matter what. Let's think about the fire in Agnes's house. It's the heart of the home, always burning, always warm. The fire keeps the house cozy, cooks the food, and gives light when the sun goes down. Agnes loves sitting by it, especially when she's tired. The flames dance and the wood crackles like it's telling a story of its own. Sometimes, when she's sitting there, she thinks about her baby. She wonders what it will look like, what its name will be. She hopes it will be strong and healthy, with a loud cry that echoes through the village. But those worries creep in like shadows under the door. What if the birth is too hard? What if she's not strong enough? Agnes shakes her head, trying to push those thoughts away. She looks at the fire, at the way it glows, and it helps her feel calm. The fire is steady, always there, like the village, like her family. It reminds her that life keeps going, even when it's scary. Let's imagine the women sitting together by that fire. It's evening now, and the day's work is done. Agnes is there with Mary and a few others. They're sewing, their needles moving up and down. The firelight makes their faces soft and warm. They talk in quiet voices, so the kids don't hear. Mary says, "When I had my second, I was so scared, but the midwife sang a song and it helped me breathe." Another woman, Joan, nods and says, "My sister had a hard time, but she's okay now." "Her baby is so strong." Agnes listens, her hands busy with her sewing. The stories make her feel braver. They're like a warm blanket wrapping around her heart. The village is quiet now as the sun sets. The sky is turning dark with stars starting to peek out. The houses glow with firelight and the air smells like smoke and bread. Agnes feels tired, but it's a good tired, like she's done something important. She thinks about her kids, sleeping in the bed they all share. She thinks about her husband, who's out checking the fields. And she thinks about the baby inside her waiting to be born. She's scared, but she's hopeful too. She knows she's not alone. Let's take a moment to feel that quiet. Imagine you're in the village, sitting by Agnes's fire. The flames are low, just a soft glow. The air is cool, but the fire keeps you warm. You hear the crickets outside and maybe a goat bleating far away. The world feels small and safe, like a little bubble of calm. That's what life was like in the village. It was hard, but it was gentle too. People worked together, shared their fears, and found ways to keep going. Agnes's fears about having her baby were real, but they didn't stop her. She carried water, made bread, hugged her kids. She listened to the other women, and their stories gave her strength. She knew that having a baby was a big adventure, one that could be scary but also wonderful. And every night when the work was done, she'd lie down in her bed, pull the blanket up, and let sleep come. That's what we're going to talk about in this story: how Agnes lived, how she worked, how she rested, even with her worries. Let's think about the valley again. It's a soft place with green hills and a little river running through. The houses are small, but they're full of life. Kids play, animals wander, and people work together. It's a place where everyone knows each other, where no one is alone. Agnes loves her village, even when she's scared. It's her home, her safe place. And tonight, as we tell this story, we're going to walk through that village with her. We're going to see what her life was like, how she found peace, and how she slept. Sleep was important in the village. There were no bright lights to keep you awake, no screens to stare at. When the sun went down, the world got dark, and that was the signal to rest. Agnes would bank the fire, piling ashes over the coals to keep them warm till morning. She'd check the door, tuck in her kids, and lie down. The bed was simple, just straw and blankets, but it was enough. She'd hear her kids breathing, feel her husband's warmth, and let the night take her. Even with her fears, sleep came, like a friend who never left. Let's imagine you're there in Agnes's house. You're sitting by the fire, feeling its warmth. The room is small, with a dirt floor and a straw roof. The kids are asleep, their little faces calm. Agnes is sewing, her hands moving slowly. She's thinking about her baby, about the day it will come. She's scared, but she's strong too. She knows the village is with her, that the midwife will help, that her family will be there. and soon she'll lie down, close her eyes, and sleep. This story is for you to help you feel calm and sleepy. It's about a time when life was different, when women like Agnes worked hard and worried about their bobbies. It's about how they found peace even when things were scary. It's about how they slept night after night in a world that was simple but full of love. So let's step into that world softly now and see what it was like. Let's walk with Agnes, feel her fears, and find her calm. Let's let this story wrap us up like a warm blanket and carry us to sleep. Let's meet Agnes. She's a woman who lives in a little village a long time ago when houses were made of wood and straw and life was simple but hard. Agnes is a peasant, which means she works a lot and doesn't have fancy things. She's not a queen or a princess, just a regular person like you or me when we're at home doing our everyday stuff. Agnes is kind, with a big heart and a smile that makes you feel warm, like sitting by a fire on a cold day. She's someone you'd want to be friends with, someone who makes you laugh and feel safe. Agnes has hands that are rough like sandpaper because she works so hard. She spins wool into thread, twisting it with her fingers until it's long and strong. Her hands are always busy, moving back and forth, making something useful out of soft wool from the sheep in the village. Sometimes her fingers get sore, but she keeps going, humming a little tune to herself. That humming is something special about Agnes. When she's nervous or thinking hard, she hums a soft song like a bird singing quietly in the trees. It's her way of calming down, of making the world feel okay. Agnes isn't very tall. She's just the right size to hug her kids tight or reach up to pat the goat on its head. Her hair is brown, tied back in a braid that's always a little messy. Strands of hair stick out like they're trying to escape because she's always moving, chasing her kids, carrying water, or stirring a pot of soup. That messy braid makes her look real, like someone who's too busy living to worry about looking perfect. And when she laughs, oh, it's the best sound. It's loud and happy, and it makes the chickens in the yard flap their wings and run away, clucking like they're surprised. Agnes thinks that's funny, and it makes her laugh even more. Right now, Agnes is going to have her third baby soon. She already has 2 kids, a boy named Tom and a girl named Leela. They're little, always running around, getting muddy and tugging at her skirts. Agnes loves them so much, even when they make her tired. Tom is 5, and he likes to chase the chickens, pretending he's a brave knight. Leela is 3, and she follows Agnes everywhere, holding her hand or hiding behind her legs. Agnes's heart feels full when she looks at them, but she's also tired. Having a baby inside her makes her back ache and her feet heavy, like she's carrying a big basket of apples all day. Even though she's tired, Agnes is hopeful. She dreams about her new baby, wondering what it will look like. Will it have her brown hair or her husband's blue eyes? Will it be loud like Tom or quiet like Leela? She imagines he's holding it, feeling its tiny hands, hearing its little cries. That makes her smile, but it also makes her nervous. Having a baby is a big deal, especially in her village, where there are no hospitals or fancy doctors. Agnes knows it might hurt, and she's heard stories from other women, stories about bobbies who didn't cry or moms who got sick. Those stories make her hum a little louder, her fingers spinning the wool a little faster. Agnes's days are long, starting when the sun comes up and ending when the stars shine. She wakes up early when the rooster crows and the sky is still gray. She gets out of bed, stretches her arms, and starts her work. She carries water from the well, her bucket heavy and sloshing. She makes bread, kneading the dough with her strong hands. She feeds the chickens, checks the goat, and sweeps the dirt floor of her house. All these tasks are like a song with a steady rhythm that keeps her going. She likes the rhythm. It's like a heartbeat, steady and sure, telling her everything will be okay. Let's picture Agnes in her village. Her house is small, with walls made of wood and mud. The roof is straw and it rustles when the wind blows. Inside, there's a fire in the middle with smoke curling up to a hole in the roof. The floor is dirt, packed down from people walking on it. There's a table where Agnes makes food and a bed where the whole family sleeps together, her husband John, and their 2 kids. The bed is stuffed with straw, and it's covered with a scratchy wool blanket. It's not fancy, but it's cozy, like a nest for a family of birds. Agnes loves her kids, even when they're naughty. Tom likes to run outside, shouting and pretending he's fighting dragons. Leela stays close, holding Agnes's skirt or playing with a little wooden toy John carved for her. Sometimes they tug at Agnes's skirt, saying, "Mama, look," or "Mama, I'm hungry." Agnes laughs, even when she's tired, and kneels down to hug them. Their little arms around her neck make her feel strong, like she can do anything. But when she's alone, she thinks about the new baby and her heart feels a little heavy. She hums to push the worries away, her voice soft like a lullaby. Agnes's husband, John, is a farmer. He works in the fields, planting seeds and pulling weeds. He comes home with dirt on his hands and a big smile. Agnes likes his smile. It's warm like the sun on a spring day. John knows Agnes is nervous about the baby and he tries to help. He'll say, "You're strong, Agnes. You've done this before." And he'll hug her, his arms big and safe. That makes Agnes feel better, but the worries are still there, like shadows in the corner of her mind. Let's imagine Agnes's day for a moment. She's up early before the sun is high. She steps outside and the air is cool and smells like grass. The village is waking up, chickens cluck, a dog barks, and a neighbor calls out, "Good morning." Agnes waves back, her braids swinging. She walks to the well, her bucket in hand. The path is muddy and her shoes get a little wet, but she doesn't mind. The well is a big circle of stones with cold, clear water deep inside. Agnes pulls the rope and the bucket comes up heavy. She pours the water into her own bucket and it splashes her hands. The cold feels good, waking her up. Back at home, Agnes starts a fire. She stacks wood carefully and the flames grow, crackling and warm. She makes pottage, a kind of thick soup with barley and leeks. She stirs it with a wooden spoon, humming her tune. Tom and Leela are awake now, running around the house. Tom shouts, "I'm a knight," and Leela giggles, chasing him. Agnes smiles, even though she's tired. Her baby moves inside her, a little kick, and she puts her hand on her belly. It's a happy moment, but then she thinks about the birth, and her humming gets a little louder. Agnes loves the rhythm of her day. It's like a dance, slow and steady. She carries water, makes food, sweeps the floor. She checks the chickens, making sure they have food. She milks the goat, her hands gentle but strong. She sews a tear in Tom's shirt, her needle moving up and down. Each task is small, but together they make her day feel full. They keep her busy, so the worries about her baby don't take over. She hums as she works, and the sound fills the house, like a soft blanket wrapping everyone up. Let's think about Agnes's village. It's a small place with houses scattered along the muddy paths. The fields are green, stretching out to the hills. A little river runs through the valley, sparkling in the sun. The people in the village know each other like a big family. If Agnes needs help, her neighbors are there. If she's worried, she can talk to Mary, an older woman who lives nearby. Mary has had bobbies, and she knows what it's like to be scared. She'll say, "Agnes, you're strong. The midwife will help and you'll be fine." Those words make Agnes feel warm, like she's not alone. The midwife is a special person in the village. Her name is Ellen, and she's seen lots of bobbies born. She's not a doctor, but she knows so much. She brings herbs to make tea that helps moms feel calm. She knows how to rub a mom's back to ease the pain. Agnes trusts Ellen, but she still feels nervous. What if something goes wrong? What if the baby doesn't come out okay? Those thoughts make her hum a little louder, her hands spinning the wool a little faster. But Ellen's kind face and steady hands make her feel a little braver. Agnes's kids are her joy. Tom is always moving, always talking. He'll run into the house, his face red from playing, and say, "Mama, I caught a frog." Agnes laughs, even though the frog is slimy and makes her jump. Leela is quieter, but she loves to sit with Agnes, watching her spin wool. She'll say, "Mama, make it go fast," and Agnes will spin the wheel, making the thread grow long. These moments make Agnes happy, even when she's tired. They remind her why she works so hard, for her kids, for her family, for the new baby coming. Let's picture Agnes at home, sitting by the fire. The flames are low, casting a soft glow. Her hands are busy, spinning wool into thread. The wheel turns and the wool twists, becoming something strong. Tom and Leela are playing nearby, their voices soft now because they're getting tired. John is outside, checking the fields before it gets dark. Agnes feels the baby kick and she smiles. But then a worry creeps in. What if the birth is hard? She hums her tune, soft and steady, and it helps the worry fade like a cloud passing over the sun. Agnes's house is small but full of love. The walls are rough, made of wood and mud. The roof is straw and it makes a soft sound when the wind blows. The fire is the heart of the house, keeping it warm and bright. There's a table where Agnes makes food and a bed where everyone sleeps together. The bed is simple, just a wooden frame with straw inside and a wool blanket on top. It's scratchy, but it's warm, and Agnes loves how it feels to lie down with her family, all close and safe. Let's imagine Agnes's laugh again. It's a big happy sound like bells ringing in the village. When she laughs, the chickens scatter and Tom and Leela giggle. Even the goat looks up like it's surprised. Agnes laughs when Tom tells a silly story or when Leela tries to help with the bread and gets flour on her nose. That laugh makes the house feel alive, like it's full of light even when the sun is down. It's a sound that says everything will be okay, even when Agnes is nervous about her baby. Agnes's days are long, but she finds comfort in them. She likes the way each task fits together like pieces of a puzzle. She wakes up, carries water, makes food, plays with her kids. She talks to her neighbors, sews clothes, spins wool. Each thing she does is small, but it makes her feel strong. It's like her day is a song, and she's singing it with her hands and her heart. Even when she's scared about her baby, the rhythm of her day keeps her going like a steady drum beat. Let's think about Agnes's worries for a moment. She's excited about her new baby, but she's scared too. She's heard stories from other women, stories that make her heart feel heavy. Stories about births that were hard, about Bobbies who didn't cry, about moms who got sick. Those stories stay with her like a shadow that follows her around. But Agnes doesn't let them win. She hums her tune, spins her wool, hugs her kids. She talks to Mary or Ellen, and their words help her feel brave. She knows she's strong, and she knows she's not alone. The village is a place where people help each other. If Agnes needs something, her neighbors are there. If she's tired, Mary might bring her a bowl of soup. If she's worried, Ellen the midwife will sit with her and talk. The women in the village share their stories, their fears, their hopes. They sit by the fire, sewing or stirring pots, and they talk. They say, "I was scared too, but it turned out okay." Those words are like a warm blanket, wrapping Agnes up and making her feel safe. Let's picture the village at night. The sun is gone and the sky is dark, full of stars. The houses glow with firelight and the air smells like smoke and bread. Agnes is inside, sitting by the fire. Her kids are getting sleepy, their eyes heavy. John is home now, sitting with her, his hands resting after a long day. Agnes feels the baby kick and she puts her hand on her belly. She's tired, but she's hopeful. She knows the birth will be hard, but she also knows she's strong. She's done this before, and she can do it again. Agnes's humming is like a lullaby, not just for her, but for everyone in the house. It's a soft sound like the wind in the trees or the river running through the valley. It makes the kids sleepy and it makes Agnes feel calm. When she hums, her worries seem smaller, like they can't touch her. She thinks about her baby, about holding it, about seeing its little face. And she thinks about sleep, how it will come to her tonight like a friend who's always there. Let's imagine you're in Agnes's house, sitting by the fire with her. The flames are warm and the room is cozy. You hear Tom and Leela breathing, already half asleep. You hear Agnes humming, her voice soft and gentle. The house smells like wood smoke and bread, and the straw roof rustles above you. You feel safe, like you're part of this little world. Agnes is there, spinning her wool, smiling at you. She's tired, she's hopeful, she's a little scared. But she's strong, and she's ready for whatever comes next. This story is about Agnes, a woman who lives a simple life but loves it so much. It's about her kids, her home, her village. It's about her worries, but also her hope. It's about how she keeps going, even when she's scared about her baby. And it's about how she finds comfort in the rhythm of her day and the little tasks that make her feel strong. So let's follow her, shall we? Let's walk with Agnes through her village, through her life, and see how she finds peace. Let's let her story wrap us up like a warm blanket and carry us towards sleep. The morning begins in Agnes's village, and it's a quiet, soft time. The sun isn't up yet, and the sky is a gentle gray like a soft blanket covering the world. A rooster crows loud and proud, telling everyone it's time to start the day. Agnes hears it from her bed, and her eyes open slowly. She's still sleepy, her body heavy from resting on the straw mattress. The straw is pokey, and it makes her back ache a little, like when you sit too long in one spot. But Agnes doesn't mind too much. She's used to it, and it's part of her home, part of her life in this little village, a long, long time ago. Agnes lies still for a moment, listening. The house is quiet, except for the soft breathing of her kids, Tom and Leela, curled up next to her. Her husband, John, is there too, snoring just a little, like a bear in a cave. Agnes smiles in the dark. She loves her family, even when they take up all the space in the bed. She feels the baby inside her, the one that's coming soon, and it gives a tiny kick. That kick makes her heart feel big and warm, but it also makes her think about yesterday. She heard a story from a neighbor, a story about a birth that was hard, and it made her heart skip, like when you trip on a stone and catch yourself just in time. She pushes the thought away, takes a deep breath, and decides it's time to get up. Agnes stretches her arms, reaching up like she's trying to touch the sky. Her back creaks and she rubs it with her hand. The straw mattress isn't soft like a cloud, but it's what she has, and it's okay. She slides out of bed, careful not to wake Tom or Leela. Their little faces are peaceful, their cheeks pink from sleep. She tucks the wool blanket around them, its scratchy edges tickling her fingers. The blanket smells like the sheep it came from, mixed with the smoky smell of the fire that's always burning in the house. Agnes loves that smell. It's the smell of home, of safety, of her little world. The air inside the house is cool and damp like the earth after rain. It smells of dirt and wood smoke, a cozy mix that makes Agnes feel awake but calm. She walks to a corner of the room where her clothes are folded on a wooden stool. She pulls on her shift, a long dress made of simple cloth that feels soft against her skin. It's not fancy, but it's hers and it's good for working. She ties her apron around her waist, the strings making a neat bow. The apron is a little stained from cooking and carrying things, but Agnes doesn't care. It's part of her day, like the sun coming up or the rooster crowing. Agnes steps outside and the morning air hits her face. It's fresh with a smell of wet grass and mud. The village is quiet, just waking up. The sky is still gray, but there's a hint of pink at the edge, like the sun is peeking out shy and slow. She hears the cluck of hens in the yard, pecking at the ground for bugs. Somewhere nearby, a neighbor's door creaks open, a soft sound that feels like part of the morning's song. Agnes stands for a moment, breathing in the cool air. Her braid swings as she moves, a little messy as always, with strands sticking out like tiny feathers. She hums a tune, soft and low, to calm her nerves. That story from yesterday is still in her mind, but the morning is gentle and she lets it carry her forward. Agnes's first job is to fetch water. She picks up her bucket, a heavy wooden one with a rope handle. It's big and a little rough, but she's strong, even with the baby making her feel heavy. She walks down the path, her shoes sinking into the mud. The path is bumpy, with puddles here and there reflecting the gray sky. Agnes doesn't mind the mud. It's part of the village, part of her life. She hums as she walks, her voice like a whisper, mixing with the sounds of the morning, the hens clucking, a dog barking far away, the wind rustling the straw roofs. The well is at the edge of the village, a big circle of stones with a wooden frame above it. Agnes sets her bucket down and pulls the rope. The well bucket comes up heavy with cold, clear water. It sloshes as she pours it into her own bucket, splashing her hands. The water is so cold it makes her fingers tingle, but it feels good, like a little wake-up call. She looks around and the village is starting to stir. Smoke curls from chimneys, and she sees a neighbor mare waving from her doorway. Agnes waves back, smiling. Mary's kind face makes her feel warm, like the sun is already up. Agnes thinks about the story she heard yesterday as she walks back home, the bucket heavy in her hands. It was about a woman in another village, a woman who had a hard time having her baby. The story made Agnes's heart skip, like a stone dropping into a pond. She's expecting her third baby, and she knows it won't be easy. She's done it before with Tom and Leela, but each time feels new, like walking into a dark room without a candle. She worries about the pain, about whether the baby will be okay, about whether she'll be okay. Those worries are like little clouds in her mind, but she hums her tune and it helps them float away. Back at home, Agnes sets the bucket down by the fire. The house is still quiet, but she hears Tom stirring, mumbling something in his sleep. Leela is curled up like a little ball, her thumb in her mouth. Agnes smiles, her heart feeling big again. She loves her kids so much, even when they make her tired. She starts the fire, adding sticks to the coals from last night. The flames grow, crackling and warm, filling the house with a soft glow. The smell of wood smoke mixes with the damp air, and it's a smell that makes Agnes feel safe, like everything is right in her world. Agnes's morning is full of little tasks, each one like a step in a dance. She sweeps the dirt floor with a broom made of twigs, pushing dust into a pile. The floor is never really clean, but she likes making it tidy. She checks the pottage, a thick soup left simmering from yesterday. She stirs it with a wooden spoon, adding a pinch of herbs from a little clay pot. The herbs smell sharp and green like the fields after rain. Agnes hums as she stirs, her voice soft and steady. The rhythm of her work sweep, stir, hum makes her feel calm, even with the worries about her baby. The village is waking up now, and Agnes hears more sounds outside. A cow moos low and deep. A child laughs, probably chasing a chicken. The neighbor's door creaks again, and Agnes knows Mary is probably starting her own fire. Agnes likes knowing her neighbors are close. It makes her feel like she's part of something bigger, like a quilt made of all their lives stitched together. She thinks about the midwife Ellen, who will help when the baby comes. Ellen's hands are gentle and her voice is calm. Agnes trusts her, but the story from yesterday still lingers, like a shadow that won't quite go away. Agnes's kids wake up, their voices filling the house. Tom runs in, his hair messy and his face bright. "Mama, I'm hungry," he says, bouncing on his toes. Leela follows, rubbing her eyes, her little dress crumpled from sleep. Agnes laughs, a soft sound that makes the chickens outside cluck in surprise. "All right, my loves," she says, kneeling to hug them. Their arms are warm around her neck, and for a moment the worries about her baby fade. Tom and Leela are her strength, her reason to keep going, even when she's scared. Let's picture Agnes's house again. It's small, with walls of wood and mud and a straw roof that rustles in the wind. The fire is the heart of the house, burning bright now, warming the air. The floor is dirt packed hard from years of footsteps. There's a table where Agnes makes food and a bed where the family sleeps, all squished together under the wool blanket. The house smells like smoke and herbs, like home. Agnes loves it, even when it's messy or cold. It's her place where her kids laugh and her worries feel smaller. Agnes thinks about her baby as she works. She's excited to meet it, to hold it, to see its tiny face. But she's scared too. Yesterday's story was about a birth that went wrong, and it made her heart feel tight. She wonders if her baby will be strong, if she'll be strong enough. She hums her tune and it helps. It's like a little song that says, "You're okay, Agnes, you've done this before." She thinks about Ellen, the midwife, and Mary, her neighbor. They'll be there helping her, holding her hand. That makes her feel a little braver. The morning moves on, slow and gentle. Agnes feeds the chickens, tossing grain from a sack. The hens cluck and peck, their feathers shining in the growing light. She checks the goat tied to a post outside. The goat looks at her with big eyes, chewing a leaf. Agnes pats its head and it bleats, a funny sound that makes her smile. These little tasks are like friends, keeping her company, keeping her busy. They help her forget the scary story, at least for a while. Let's imagine the village now. The sky is lighter, with pink and gold at the edges. The houses are waking up, with smoke rising from chimneys. Kids run outside, shouting and laughing. A dog barks and a cow moos again. The paths are muddy, but they're alive with footsteps. Agnes sees Mary across the way, carrying her own bucket of water. They wave, and Agnes feels warm inside. The village is small, but it's full of people who care about each other. That makes Agnes feel safe, even when she's nervous about her baby. Agnes goes back inside and starts making bread. She mixes flour and water in a wooden bowl, her hands strong and sure. She kneads the dough, pushing and pulling, her fingers sinking into the soft mix. It's hard work, but she likes it. The dough smells clean and warm, like the promise of a good meal. She hums as she kneads, her voice blending with the crackle of the fire. Tom and Leela watch, their eyes big. "Can I help, Mama?" Leela asks, her voice small. Agnes smiles and gives her a little piece of dough to play with. Leela giggles, patting it with her tiny hands. The morning feels soft, like a hug from the world. Agnes's worries are still there, but they're quieter now, like a whisper instead of a shout. She thinks about the story from yesterday, but she also thinks about her kids, her home, her village. She thinks about the midwife Ellen, who will help when the baby comes. She thinks about John, who will hold her hand and smile his warm smile. These thoughts make her feel strong, like a tree with deep roots. Let's picture Agnes standing by the fire, stirring the pottage. The spoon moves in circles, slow and steady. The fire crackles and the house is warm. Tom is playing with a stick, pretending it's a sword. Leela is shaping her dough into a little ball, her tongue sticking out as she concentrates. Agnes hums, her voice soft like a lullaby. The morning is moving forward, carrying her along. She's tired, her back aching, but she's hopeful too. She knows the day will be long, but it will end with rest, with sleep, with her family close. The village is fully awake now, and the sounds are louder. A neighbor calls to her kids, telling them to come eat. A cart creaks as someone pulls it down the path. The hens cluck, the goat bleats, and the wind whispers through the straw roofs. Agnes loves these sounds. They're like a song, telling her the village is alive, that she's part of it. She thinks about her baby, about the day it will come. She's scared, but she's ready. She's done this before, and she can do it again. Agnes's morning is a dance of little tasks: water, fire, bread, chickens. Each one is small, but together they make her day feel full. They keep her busy, keep her strong. She hums as she works, her tune like a thread weaving through the morning. The worries about her baby are there, but they're softer now, like clouds that don't block the sun. She thinks about Ellen, about Mary, about John and her kids. They're her strength, her home, her reason to keep going. Let's imagine you're in Agnes's house, watching her work. The fire is warm and the air smells like smoke and herbs. Tom and Leela are playing, their voices soft and happy. Agnes is humming, her hands busy with the dough. The house is small, but it's full of love. You feel cozy, like you're wrapped in a blanket. Agnes smiles at you, her braid a little messy, her eyes kind. She's tired, she's hopeful, she's a little scared. But she's strong and she's ready for the day. This story is about Agnes's morning, about the way she starts her day with simple tasks and quiet thoughts. It's about her village, her family, her fears, and her hope. It's about how she keeps going, even when she's nervous about her baby. And it's about how the morning carries her forward, soft and gentle, toward a day full of love and work. So let's stay with Agnes, let's follow her through this morning, and let her story wrap us up like a warm hug carrying us towards sleep. The morning is moving along in Agnes's little village, and she's busy with her work. Agnes kneels by the hearth, the warm heart of her small house. The hearth is a low, stone circle where the fire burns, filling the room with a cozy glow. She's stirring pottage, a thick soup made of barley and leeks, bubbling in a heavy iron pot. The wooden spoon in her hand moves in slow circles, round and round, like a gentle dance. The fire crackles, popping like tiny fireworks, and the flames dance, making shadows on the walls. Agnes loves the sound of the fire. It's like a friend, always there, always talking in its soft, crackly way. Agnes reaches for a little clay pot on a shelf. It's filled with herbs, dried bits of green plants that smell sharp and earthy like the fields after rain. She pinches a few herbs between her fingers, crumbling them into the pottage. The smell gets stronger, mixing with the smoky air, and it makes her smile. The pottage is warm and hearty, perfect for feeding her family, her husband John and her kids Tom and Leela. She stirs some more, her hands steady, her body moving with the rhythm of the task. Stir, stir, pause. It's like a song, slow and calm, that makes her feel peaceful. When the pottage is bubbling just right, Agnes sets the spoon down and stands up. Her back aches a little because she's carrying a baby inside her, her third one coming soon. She rubs her back with her hand, feeling the soreness, but she doesn't stop. There's always more to do in her village, where life is simple but full of work. She picks up a broom, made of twigs tied to a stick, and starts sweeping the floor. The floor is just dirt, packed hard from years of footsteps, but it gets dusty, especially in the morning light. The sun is coming through the small window, a square hole covered with a cloth, and the light makes the dust swirl like tiny clouds floating in the air. Agnes sweeps, her broom moving back and forth. Sweep, sweep, pause. The dust gathers in a little pile and she pushes it toward the door. The movement is slow, deliberate, like a lullaby you sing to a baby. Each sweep is small, but it feels important. It makes the house feel tidy, even if it's just a little house with mud walls and a straw roof. Agnes likes making things tidy. It's like telling the world, I'm here and I'm taking care of my home. She hums a tune as she sweeps, a soft sound that fills the room like a breeze whispering through the trees. Outside, Agnes hears her kids, Tom and Leela, shouting and laughing. She steps to the door and looks out. They're chasing a goose in the yard, their little legs running fast. Tom, who's 5, waves a stick like it's a sword, yelling, "Come back, goose." Leela, who's 3, giggles and tries to keep up, her hair bouncing. The goose honks, flapping its wings, and runs in circles. Agnes smiles, her heart feeling warm like the sun on her face. Her kids are her joy, even when they're noisy or messy. They make her laugh and they make her feel strong, even when she's tired. But as she watches them, her thoughts drift, like leaves floating on a stream. She thinks about the midwife's tales, stories she heard yesterday when she sat with Ellen, the village midwife. Ellen is kind, with gentle hands and a calm voice, but her stories weren't always happy. She told Agnes about births that went wrong, babies who didn't cry, moms who got sick and didn't get better. Those stories made Agnes's heart feel heavy, like she was carrying a big stone. She's expecting her third baby and she's scared. What if it hurts too much? What if something goes wrong? She shakes her head like she's shaking off a bad dream and grips the broom tighter. Sweep, sweep, pause. The rhythm brings her back, makes her feel steady again. Agnes goes back to sweeping, her broom moving over the dirt floor. The dust swirls, catching the light, and she hums her tune, soft and low. The rhythm of her work, stirring, sweeping, humming, is like a lullaby, calming her mind. The worries about her baby are still there, but they're quieter now, like a whisper instead of a shout. She thinks about Tom and Leela running outside, and it makes her smile again. She thinks about John, working in the fields, his hands dirty but his smile big. They're her family, her strength, and they help her keep going. After sweeping, Agnes checks the fire. She adds a stick, watching the flames grow, their orange glow warm and friendly. The fire is the heart of the house, keeping it cozy, cooking the food, giving light when the sun goes down. Agnes loves the fire. It's like a friend who never leaves, always there to warm her hands. She kneels again, stirring the pottage one more time. The smell fills the room, and she imagines her kids eating it later, their faces happy and full. That thought makes her heart feel light, even with the worries about her baby. Agnes steps outside again, carrying a sack of grain for the chickens. The yard is small, with a fence made of sticks. The chickens cluck and peck, their feathers shiny in the morning light. Agnes tosses grain on the ground, and the chickens rush over, their little feet scratching the dirt. She laughs softly, a sound that blends with the clucking. The chickens are funny, always hungry, always busy. She checks the goat, tied to a post nearby. The goat looks at her with big, curious eyes, chewing a leaf. Agnes pats its head and it bleats, a silly sound that makes her giggle. These animals are part of her family too, and taking care of them feels good. Back inside, Agnes checks on her kids again. Tom and Leela have given up on the goose, and now they're playing with sticks, building a little house in the dirt. "Look, Mama," Tom calls, holding up a stick like it's a prize. Leela claps her hands, her face bright. Agnes smiles and kneels beside them, her apron brushing the ground. "That's a fine house," she says, her voice warm. She loves these moments when her kids are happy and close. They make her forget the midwife's tailies, at least for a little while. But the worries creep back like shadows under the door. Agnes thinks about Ellen's stories, about births that were hard, about prayers that didn't get answered. She's scared for her baby, for herself. She stands up, brushes her hands on her apron, and goes back to her tasks. She picks up a needle and thread to mend a tear in Tom's shirt. The needle moves up and down, slow and careful, like a dance. So pause. The rhythm is soothing, like the pottage stirring or the broom sweeping. It helps her mind stay quiet, helps her push the worries away. Agnes's day is made of these tiny tasks, each one small but important. Stirring the pottage, sweeping the floor, feeding the chickens, mending clothes. They're like steps in a song, each one leading to the next. She hums as she works, her voice soft, blending with the crackle of the fire and the cluck of the hens. The rhythm of her work is like a lullaby, making her feel calm even when her heart feels heavy. She thinks about her baby, about the day it will come. She's scared, but she's strong too. She's done this before with Tom and Leela, and she can do it again. Let's picture Agnes in her house, moving from one task to another. The fire is burning, the pottage is bubbling, the floor is a little cleaner. Tom and Leela are outside, their laughter floating through the door. Agnes is sewing, her hands steady, her humming soft. The morning light comes through the window, making everything glow. The house smells like smoke and herbs like home. Agnes feels tired, her back aching, but she keeps going. Each task is like a friend, keeping her company, keeping her strong. The village is busy now, with people working and talking. Agnes hears a neighbor calling to her kids, her voice kind but firm. A cart creaks down the path, its wheels bumping over the mud. The chickens cluck, the goat bleats, and the wind whispers through the straw roofs. These sounds are like a song, telling Agnes the village is alive, that she's part of it. She thinks about her neighbors like Mary, who always has a kind word, or Ellen, the midwife, who will help when the baby comes. They make her feel safe, even when she's nervous. Agnes finishes sewing and sets the shirt aside. She checks the pottage again, stirring it slowly. The spoon moves in circles, round and round, like the rhythm of her day. She adds another pinch of herbs, the smell filling the air. She thinks about her kids eating it later, their faces happy. She thinks about John coming home from the fields, his smile big and warm. These thoughts make her heart feel full, even with the worries about her baby. Let's imagine the village for a moment. The sun is higher now and the sky is blue, with a few white clouds floating like sheep in a field. The houses are small, with mud walls and straw roofs. Smoke rises from chimneys, curling into the air. Kids run and play, their voices loud and happy. A dog barks and a cow moos in the distance. The paths are muddy, but they're alive with footsteps. Agnes loves her village. It's her home, her safe place where everyone helps each other. Agnes steps outside again, carrying a basket to collect eggs. The chickens have laid a few, tucked in the straw of their coop. She reaches in, her hands gentle, and finds 3 eggs, smooth and warm. She puts them in her basket, careful not to break them. The chickens cluck and one flaps its wings, making her laugh. She loves these little moments when the world feels simple and good. They help her forget the midwife's tales, the stories that make her heart skip. Back inside, Agnes sets the eggs on the table. She picks up a cloth to wipe the table clean, her hands moving in slow circles. Wipe, wipe, pause. The rhythm is like her sweeping, her stirring, her sewing. It's like a lullaby calming her mind. She thinks about her baby, about the day it will come. She's scared, but she's hopeful too. She thinks about Ellen, who will be there with her gentle hands. She thinks about Mary, who will bring soup or kind words. She thinks about John, who will hold her hand. These thoughts make her feel strong, like a tree standing tall in the wind. Agnes's tasks keep going, one after another. She checks the fire, adds a stick, watches the flames. She stirs the pottage, sweeps the floor, mends another tear in Leela's dress. Each task is small, but together they make her day feel full. They're like beads on a string, each one shining in its own way. Agnes hums as she works, her voice soft like a breeze. The worries about her baby are there, but they're quieter now, softened by the rhythm of her work. Let's picture Agnes again, moving through her morning. She's kneeling by the hearth, stirring the pottage. The fire crackles and the smell of herbs fills the air. She sweeps the floor, the dust swirling in the light. She checks on Tom and Leela, who are playing outside, their laughter like music. She sews, her needle moving up and down. Each task is a step in her day, a note in her song. She's tired, her back aching, but she's strong. She's scared, but she's hopeful. She's Agnes, and this is her life. The village is alive around her, full of sounds and people. A neighbor calls out, "Good morning, Agnes," and she waves back, smiling. The chickens cluck, the goat bleats, and the kids laugh. Agnes feels like she's part of something big, something warm. She thinks about her baby, about the midwife's tales, but she also thinks about her family, her home. She hums her tune, and it carries her forward like a river carrying a leaf. This story is about Agnes's morning, about the tiny tasks that make her day. It's about her village, her family, her fears, and her hope. It's about how she keeps going, one task at a time, even when she's scared about her baby. It's about the rhythm of her work, like a lullaby that soothes her heart. So let's stay with Agnes, let's follow her through her tasks, and let her story wrap us up like a soft blanket carrying us towards sleep. It's afternoon in Agnes's little village, and the sun is high in the sky, shining bright over the muddy paths and straw-roofed houses. Agnes has been working all morning, and now her body feels heavy, like it's ready to sit down and rest. Her arms ache, sore from carrying wood for the fire. The wood is heavy, and the pile she brought from the edge of the village feels like it's pulling her down. Her legs are tired too, like they're made of the earth itself, heavy and slow, as if the mud from the paths has stuck to them. Agnes is expecting her third baby, and that makes her feel even more tired, like she's carrying a big basket of stones inside her. But this tiredness isn't a bad thing. It's like a friend, a quiet friend who whispers, "You've worked hard, Agnes, soon you'll rest." Agnes likes that feeling. It's a promise that when the day is done, when the sun goes down and the world grows still, she'll lie down in her bed and let sleep come. She sighs, a soft, cozy sigh, like letting out a big breath after a long day. She imagines lying on her straw mattress, pulling the scratchy wool blanket over her and closing her eyes. The thought makes her smile, even though her arms and legs are so tired. Agnes's day has been full of work, like every day in her village. This morning she carried water from the well, the bucket heavy and sloshing. She stirred pottage, a thick soup, over the fire, her spoon moving in slow circles. She swept the dirt floor of her house, pushing dust into a pile. She fed the chickens, tossing grain for them to peck. And now in the afternoon, she's been doing more tasks, milking the goat, mending a torn shift, checking on her kids, Tom and Leela. Each job is small, but together they make her body feel heavy, like a tree weighed down by fruit. Let's picture Agnes now, standing outside her house. The sun is warm and the air smells like grass and smoke. Her arms ache from carrying wood, big logs she stacked by the hearth to keep the fire going. She rubs her shoulders, feeling the soreness, but it's a good kind of sore, like she's done something important. She looks at the goat, tied to a post in the yard. The goat is chewing grass, its eyes big and curious. Agnes smiles and walks over to milk it. She sits on a small stool, her hands gentle as she pulls the goat's udder. The milk squirts into a wooden bucket, a soft sound like rain on a leaf. Her hands move slow, steady, but they're tired, and her arms feel like they're made of heavy clay. Milking the goat is hard work, especially when Agnes is so tired. Her back aches and her legs feel wobbly, like they don't want to hold her up anymore. But she keeps going because the goat needs her and the milk is for her family. Tom and Leela love to drink it, and it makes them strong. Agnes thinks about them running around the yard, their laughter like music. That thought makes her heart feel light, even though her body is heavy. She finishes milking, pats the goat's head, and stands up, stretching her arms. The bucket of milk is heavy, but she carries it inside, her steps slow and careful. Back in the house, Agnes sets the bucket down and looks at the fire. It's still burning, crackling softly, filling the room with warmth. The house smells like wood smoke and herbs, a cozy smell that makes Agnes feel safe. She picks up a torn shift, a little dress that Leela ripped while playing. Agnes sits by the fire, her needle and thread in hand. She sews, her fingers moving up and down, slow and careful. Sew, pause. The needle pokes through the cloth, pulling the thread tight. Her hands are tired and her fingers ache a little, but the sewing is like a quiet song, calming her mind. As she sews, Agnes thinks about her baby, the one that's coming soon. She's excited to meet it, to hold its tiny hands, to hear its little cries. But she's scared too. She heard a story yesterday from Ellen the midwife about a birth that was hard, where things didn't go right. That story made her heart feel tight, like someone squeezed it. She worries about the pain, about whether her baby will be okay, about whether she'll be okay. Those thoughts are like heavy stones in her mind, but she shakes her head like shaking dust off a blanket. She focuses on the needle, on the thread, on the slow rhythm of sewing. Sew, pause. It helps her feel steady, like her feet are planted firmly on the ground. Agnes's tiredness is growing now, like a soft blanket wrapping around her. Her arms ache from the wood, her legs are heavy from walking, her hands are sore from milking and sewing. But this tiredness is okay. It's like a signal telling her body that rest is coming. She imagines lying down later when the sun is gone and the stars are out. She pictures her bed, stuffed with straw, covered with the wool blanket. It's not soft like a cloud, but it's warm, and it holds her family close: John, Tom, Leela, and soon, the new baby. That thought makes her sigh again, a soft, cozy sigh, like letting out all the worries of the day. Let's imagine Agnes's house for a moment. It's small, with walls made of mud and wood and a roof made of straw that rustles in the wind. The fire is in the middle, burning low now, but still warm. The floor is dirt, packed hard from footsteps. There's a table where Agnes makes food and a bed where everyone sleeps together. The house smells like smoke and herbs, like the pottage still bubbling in the pot. It's not fancy, but it's home, and Agnes loves it. It's where her kids laugh, where John smiles, where she feels safe, even when she's tired. Agnes hears Tom and Leela outside, their voices loud and happy. She steps to the door and looks out. They're playing in the yard, chasing each other with sticks. Tom shouts, "I'm a knight," and Leela giggles, running behind him. Their faces are red from running, and their hair is messy, but they're so happy. Agnes smiles, her heart feeling big and warm. Her kids make her tired, but they also make her strong. She thinks about the new baby, about how it will join them, running and laughing in the yard. That thought makes her happy, but it also brings back the worry. What if the birth is hard? She shakes her head again, goes back to her sewing, and hums a tune, soft and low. The sewing is slow work, and Agnes's fingers are tired. The needle moves up and down, pulling the thread through the cloth. Sew, pause. Each stitch is small, but it's important. It fixes Leela's dress, makes it strong again. Agnes likes fixing things. It's like fixing her worries, making them smaller with each stitch. She thinks about Ellen, the midwife, who will help when the baby comes. Ellen's hands are gentle, and her voice is calm. Agnes trusts her, but the worry is still there, like a little cloud in her mind. She hums louder, and the rhythm of her sewing helps the cloud float away. Agnes finishes the sewing and sets the dress aside. She stands up, her legs heavy like they're stuck in mud. She stretches, her arms reaching up, her back creaking. She's so tired now, but it's a good tired, like she's earned it. She checks the pottage, stirring it with the wooden spoon. The soup is thick, smelling warm and good. She imagines her family eating it later, sitting around the table, their faces happy. That thought makes her smile, even though her body feels like it's made of stone. The afternoon is moving on and the village is busy. Agnes hears sounds outside, a neighbor calling to her kids, a cart creaking down the path, chickens clucking in the yard. The goat bleats and Agnes laughs softly. That goat is always making noise, like it's trying to tell her something. She steps outside to check on it, her legs slow but steady. The goat looks at her, chewing a leaf, and Agnes pats its head. "You're a silly thing," she says, her voice soft. The goat bleats again, and it makes her giggle. a little sound that feels like a spark of light in her tired body. Agnes looks at the sky. The sun is lower now, casting long shadows across the village. The air is still warm, but it's starting to cool like a promise of evening. She thinks about rest, about lying down later when the world is quiet. Her body is so tired, her arms from the wood, her legs from walking, her hands from milking and sewing. But that tiredness is like a friend telling her that sleep is coming. She sighs, a soft, cozy sigh, and imagines her bed, her family, the stillness of the night. Let's picture the village for a moment. The houses are small, with mud walls and straw roofs. Smoke curls from chimneys, and the paths are muddy, full of footprints. Kids run and play, their voices loud and happy. A dog barks and a cow moos in the distance. The fields are green, stretching out to the hills. Agnes loves her village. It's her home where everyone helps each other. She thinks about her neighbor Mary, who might bring soup later, or Ellen, the midwife, who will be there when the baby comes. They make her feel safe, even when she's scared. Agnes goes back inside and checks on the fire. She adds another stick, watching the flames grow. The fire is her friend, always warm, always there. She stirs the pottage again, the spoon moving in circles, round and round. The smell fills the house, and she imagines her kids eating, their spoons clinking against the bowls. She thinks about John coming home from the fields, his smile big and warm. These thoughts make her heart feel full, even though her body is so tired. The worries about her baby are still there, like a shadow that follows her. She thinks about Ellen's stories, about births that were hard, about prayers that didn't get answered. Those stories make her heart feel tight, but she pushes them away. She focuses on her tasks, stirring, sewing, checking the fire. Each one is small, but they help her feel strong. They're like steps in a dance, keeping her steady. She hums her tune, soft and low, and it makes the worries smaller, like clouds shrinking in the sky. Agnes's tiredness is deep now, like a river she's sinking into. Her arms are heavy, her legs are slow, her hands are sore, but she keeps going because her family needs her. She checks on Tom and Leela again, stepping outside to see them. They're sitting in the dirt now, playing with sticks and stones. Tom is building a little tower, and Leela is clapping, her eyes bright. Agnes kneels beside them, her legs tired but her heart happy. "Good job, my loves," she says, her voice warm. They smile at her, and it's like the sun coming out. The afternoon is quiet now, with the village settling into a calm rhythm. Agnes hears a bird singing, its song soft and sweet. The wind whispers through the straw roofs, and the fire crackles inside. She feels her tiredness like a soft blanket wrapping around her. She knows that soon, when the sun goes down, she'll lie down with her family. She'll pull the blanket over them, feel their warmth, and let sleep come. That thought makes her sigh, a soft, cozy sigh, like letting out all the worries of the day. Let's imagine Agnes in her house, moving through her tasks. She's stirring the pottage, the spoon moving slow and steady. She's sewing, her needle going up and down. She's checking the fire, adding a stick to keep it warm. Her body is tired, her arms and legs heavy, but she's strong. She thinks about her baby, about the day it will come. She's scared, but she's hopeful too. She knows Ellen will be there, and Mary and John. They're her strength, her home, her reason to keep going. This story is about Agnes's afternoon, about how her body gets tired from all her work. It's about her village, her family, her fears, and her hope. It's about how tiredness is like a friend, promising rest when the day is done. It's about how Agnes keeps going, one tiny task at a time, even when she's scared about her baby. So let's stay with Agnes, let's feel her tiredness, and let her story wrap us up like a soft blanket carrying us towards sleep. It's getting late in Agnes's little village, and the sun is sinking low, painting the sky with soft pinks and purples. The day has been long, full of work, carrying water, stirring pottage, sweeping the floor, and chasing after her kids, Tom and Leela. Agnes is tired, her arms and legs heavy like they're made of mud. She's expecting her third baby soon, and that makes her even more tired, but it also makes her hopeful. Soon she'll lie down in her bed, a simple bed that isn't perfect but works just fine. It's a place where she can rest, where the world feels quiet and safe, even with her worries about the baby. Agnes's bed is in the corner of her small house, a house made of mud and wood with a straw roof that rustles when the wind blows. The bed is not fancy, not like the soft, fluffy beds we have today with big pillows and smooth sheets. It's a wooden frame, like a box made of rough planks, sitting low on the dirt floor. Inside the frame is a mattress stuffed with dried grasses, straw that crackles and rustles every time Agnes moves. The straw is pokey, not soft like a cloud, but it holds her weight, cradling her like the earth cradles a seed. It's a simple bed, but it's hers, and it's where she sleeps with her family, all close and warm. On top of the straw mattress is a blanket, made of coarse wool from the sheep in the village. The blanket is heavy and warm, but it's scratchy, like a sweater that itches your skin. Agnes doesn't mind the scratchiness too much. It's part of her life, like the mud on the paths or the smoke in the air. She's used to it, and it feels good to pull it over her, especially when the night is cold. The blanket smells a little like the sheep it came from, a warm, earthy smell. But there's another smell too, a soft, sweet one. Agnes tucks little bits of dried lavender into the corners of the bed, and the lavender gives off a gentle scent, like flowers in a meadow. It's a smell that makes her feel calm, like everything will be okay. Let's picture Agnes's bed for a moment. The wooden frame is sturdy, built by her husband John with his strong hands. The straw inside the mattress is packed tight, but it shifts and rustles when you lie down, making little crackling sounds like dry leaves. The blanket is big, covering the whole family, Agnes, John, Tom, and Leela, all squished together in the small bed. The lavender smell floats around, mixing with the smoky air from the fire that burns low in the hearth. The bed isn't soft or perfect, but it works. It holds Agnes and her family, keeps them warm, and gives them a place to rest after a long day. Agnes loves her bed even if it's not fancy. It's where she feels safe, where she can close her eyes and let the worries of the day slip away. She's been thinking about her baby a lot, especially after hearing stories from Ellen the midwife about births that were hard. Those stories make her heart feel heavy, like a stone sitting in her chest. She worries about the pain, about whether her baby will be strong, about whether she'll be okay. But when she thinks about her bed, about lying down with her family, those worries get quieter, like a loud song fading into a whisper. The bed is her safe place where she can rest, where sleep will come like a gentle friend. The house is quiet now, as the afternoon turns to evening. The fire in the hearth is low, just a soft glow of embers sending up curls of smoke that drift to the hole in the roof. The air smells like wood smoke and lavender, a cozy mix that makes Agnes feel calm. She's finished her tasks for now, stirring the pottage, sweeping the floor, mending Leela's dress. Her body is tired, her arms sore from carrying wood, her legs heavy from walking. She's ready to rest, but it's not time yet. The kids are still awake, playing outside, and John is in the fields, finishing his work. Soon, though, they'll all come together in the bed, and the world will feel still. Agnes walks to the bed and smooths the blanket with her hand. The wool is rough under her fingers, but it's warm and she likes the feel of it. She checks the corners, making sure the lavender is still there. The dried flowers are small, but their smell is strong, floating up like a little cloud of calm. Agnes tucks a fresh sprig of lavender into one corner, pressing it into the straw. The mattress rustles, a soft sound that makes her smile. It's like the bed is talking to her, saying, "I'm here, Agnes." "I'll hold you tonight," she sighs, a soft, cozy sigh, and imagines lying down later when the stars are out and the village is quiet. Let's imagine the bed again in the corner of the house. The wooden frame is low, just a few inches off the dirt floor. The straw inside is golden, packed tight, but still shifting when you move. It's not smooth or soft, but it's enough. The blanket is big, covering the whole bed, its edges frayed from years of use. The lavender smell is faint but sweet, like a secret hiding in the corners. The bed is small for a family of 4, soon to be 5 with the new baby, but it's cozy. It's where Agnes feels her kids' warmth, hears John's soft snores, and lets the day slip away. Agnes thinks about her baby as she stands by the bed. She's excited to meet it, to hold its tiny hands, to see its little face. But she's scared too. The midwife stories keep coming back, stories about births that didn't go well, about moms who got sick, about bobbies who didn't cry. Those stories make her heart feel tight, like someone's squeezing it. She touches the blanket, her fingers brushing the wool, and hums a little tune, soft and low. The humming helps, like a lullaby that chases the worries away. She thinks about the bed, about how it will hold her tonight, and it makes her feel a little braver. The village is settling down now, as the sun gets lower. Agnes hears sounds outside, Tom and Leela laughing as they play in the yard, a neighbor calling to her kids, a dog barking far away. The chickens cluck and the goat bleats, a funny sound that makes Agnes smile. She steps to the door and looks out. The sky is turning purple and the air is cooler, with a smell of grass and smoke. Tom is running, chasing Leela with a stick, pretending it's a sword. Leela giggles, her little legs moving fast. Agnes calls, "Be careful, my loves," and they wave at her, their faces bright and happy. Agnes's bed is waiting for her, and she thinks about it as she watches her kids. She imagines lying down, feeling the straw rustle under her, pulling the scratchy blanket over her shoulders. She imagines John beside her, his arm heavy and warm, and Tom and Leela curled up close, their breaths soft and steady. The bed isn't perfect, but it's enough. It's where her family comes together, where they rest, where they feel safe. Even with her worries about the baby, the thought of the bed makes Agnes feel calm, like the world is holding her gently. Back inside, Agnes checks the fire. The embers are glowing, and she adds a small stick to keep them warm through the night. The fire crackles, a soft sound that mixes with the lavender smell from the bed. She walks back to the bed and sits on the edge, the straw crunching under her. Her body is tired, her back aching from carrying the baby, her arms sore from her work. But sitting on the bed feels good, like a promise that rest is coming. She runs her hand over the blanket, feeling its rough texture, and smells the lavender again. It's a small thing, but it makes her heart feel lighter. Let's picture the house now. It's small, with walls of mud and wood and a straw roof that makes a soft sound when the wind blows. The fire is low, just a glow, filling the room with warmth. The floor is dirt, packed hard from footsteps. The bed is in the corner, simple but strong, holding the straw mattress and the wool blanket. The lavender smell floats around, mixing with the smoky air. It's a cozy place, a safe place where Agnes and her family can rest. Even when she's scared about her baby, the bed makes her feel like everything will be okay. Agnes thinks about her life as she sits on the bed. She thinks about her kids running outside, their laughter like music. She thinks about John working in the fields, his smile warm and kind. She thinks about the baby, about the day it will come. She's scared, but she's hopeful too. She's done this before with Tom and Leela, and she can do it again. The bed is part of that hope. It's where she'll rest after the baby comes, where she'll hold it close, where her family will be together. The thought makes her sigh, a soft, cozy sigh, like letting out all the worries of the day. The village is quiet now, with the sun almost gone. The sky is dark purple, and the first stars are peeking out. Agnes hears the sounds of the evening, crickets chirping, a cow mooing far away, the wind whispering through the straw roofs. She steps outside one more time, calling Tom and Leela to come in. They run to her, their faces red from playing, their hands dirty. "Time to get ready for bed," Agnes says, her voice soft. They nod, yawning, and follow her inside. The bed is waiting, and Agnes knows it will hold them all, just like it always does. Back in the house, Agnes helps Tom and Leela wash their hands in a bowl of water. Their little fingers splash, and they giggle, making Agnes smile. She dries their hands with a cloth, her movements slow and gentle. The fire is low, and the room is dim with just the glow of the embers. The lavender smell from the bed is stronger now, floating through the air like a sweet dream. Agnes leads her kids to the bed, helping them climb onto the straw mattress. It rustles under their weight, a soft, crackly sound that makes Leela laugh. "It's talking," she says, and Agnes chuckles, her heart warm. Agnes thinks about the midwife stories again, about the births that were hard. Those stories make her nervous, but the bed helps her feel calm. She imagines lying down, feeling the straw pulling the blanket over her. She imagines John coming home soon, his boots muddy, his smile big. They'll all be together in the bed, warm and close, and sleep will come. The bed isn't perfect, but it's enough. It's where Agnes can let go of her worries, where she can rest, where she can be with her family. Let's imagine the bed one more time. It's low to the ground, with a wooden frame that creaks a little. The straw mattress is lumpy, rustling with every move. The wool blanket is heavy, scratchy, but warm. The lavender smell is soft, like a whisper of flowers. Tom and Leela are climbing in now, their little bodies wiggling to find a spot. Agnes sits beside them, humming her tune, soft and low. The room is quiet, except for the crackle of the fire and the rustle of the straw. It's a cozy place, a safe place where sleep is waiting. Agnes's worries about her baby are still there, like a shadow in the corner. She thinks about the pain, about whether everything will be okay, but the bed helps her feel strong. It's where she'll rest, where she'll hold her new baby, where her family will be together. She hums again, her voice like a lullaby, and the worries get quieter. The bed is her friend, holding her up, cradling her like the earth. It's not perfect, but it works, and that's enough. The village is almost asleep now, with just a few sounds, crickets, the wind, a soft creak from a neighbor's door. Agnes helps Tom and Leela settle in, tucking the blanket around them. Their eyes are heavy, their breath slow. She sits on the bed, feeling the straw shift, smelling the lavender. John will be home soon, and they'll all lie down together. The bed will hold them, keep them warm, let them rest. Agnes sighs a soft, cozy sigh and imagines sleep coming, like a gentle wave washing over her. This story is about Agnes's bed, about how it's not perfect but works just fine. It's about her village, her family, her fears, and her hope. It's about how the bed is a safe place where she can rest, where her worries get quieter. It's about how Agnes keeps going, even when she's scared about her baby, and how the bed holds her close. So let's stay with Agnes, let's feel the rustle of the straw, the warmth of the blanket, the smell of lavender, and let her story wrap us up like a soft hug carrying us towards sleep. It's nighttime in Agnes's little village, and the world is quiet, wrapped in a soft, dark blanket of stars. The sun has gone down, and the air is cool, smelling of grass and smoke from the fires that glow in the houses. Agnes is ready to rest after a long day of work, carrying water, stirring pottage, sweeping the floor, and chasing after her kids, Tom and Leela. Her body is tired, her arms and legs heavy like they're made of mud. She's expecting her third baby soon, and that makes her feel even more tired, but it also makes her heart feel big and hopeful. Tonight she'll curl up in her bed with her family, all close and warm, and let sleep come like a gentle friend. Agnes's bed is in the corner of her small house, a house with mud walls and a straw roof that rustles when the wind blows. The bed is simple, just a wooden frame stuffed with straw, covered with a scratchy wool blanket. It's not big, but it's where Agnes sleeps with her whole family, her husband John and her kids Tom and Leela. They all squish together, their bodies closed, their breaths mixing in the dark. It's crowded, but it's cozy, like a nest full of birds snuggled up tight. The closeness feels like love, like safety, even when Agnes's worries about her baby creep into her mind. At night, Agnes curls up next to John, his big arm heavy across her. He snores softly, a steady sound like a river flowing slow and calm. His breath is warm, puffing out in little bursts, and it makes Agnes smile. She likes his snores, even if they're a little loud sometimes. They're part of her night, like the stars outside or the crackle of the fire. Tom and Leela are there too, wiggling in their sleep, their little bodies always moving. One small foot, usually Leela's, finds Agnes's side, kicking gently as she dreams. Agnes doesn't mind. That little foot feels like a reminder that her kids are close, safe, and warm. Outside, just beyond the wall, the goat is tethered to a post. It chews quietly, munching on grass or leaves, its soft sounds mixing with the night. The goat is part of the family too, in its own funny way. Its chewing is like a lullaby, a steady rhythm that makes Agnes feel calm. The bed is crowded with John, Tom, Leela, and Agnes all squeezed together, but it's alive with their warmth, their breaths, their little movements. It's a place where love lives, where Agnes feels safe, even when she's scared about her baby. Let's picture the bed for a moment. It's low to the ground with a wooden frame that creaks when you move. The straw inside rustles like dry leaves crunching underfoot. The wool blanket is heavy, scratchy, but warm, covering everyone like a big hug. Agnes has tucked lavender into the corners, and the sweet, flowery smell floats around, mixing with the smoky air from the fire. John lies on one side, his snores soft and steady. Tom is next to him, curled up like a puppy, his arms tucked under his head. Leela is close to Agnes, her little foot always finding her side. The bed isn't perfect, but it's enough, holding them all together in the dark. Agnes loves sleeping with her family. The closeness makes her heart feel full, like a basket overflowing with apples. She hears John's snores, feels Leela's foot, and knows Tom is dreaming nearby. These things make her feel safe, like the world is small and warm, just their little house in the village. But sometimes, as she lies there, her thoughts drift to her baby, the one coming soon. She's excited to meet it, to hold its tiny hands, to hear its cries, but she's scared too. She remembers stories from Ellen, the midwife, about births that were hard, about bobbies who didn't cry, about moms who got sick. Those stories make her heart feel heavy, like a stone sitting in her chest. When those worries come, Agnes listens to the sounds around her. John's snores are like a steady drum, soft and calm. Leela's little breaths are quick, like a bird's, and Tom mumbles something in his sleep, maybe about knights or dragons. The goat outside chews, its quiet munching a gentle sound that feels like part of the night. These sounds wrap around Agnes like a blanket of love, and they help her worries get quieter. She pulls the wool blanket higher, feeling its scratchy warmth, and smells the lavender. The bed holds her close, and she knows she's not alone. Let's imagine the house now. It's small, with walls of mud and wood and a straw roof that makes a soft sound in the wind. The fire is low, just embers glowing in the hearth, sending up curls of smoke. The air smells like wood smoke and lavender, a cozy mix that makes you want to close your eyes. The bed is in the corner, full of Agnes's family, their bodies warm and close. The village outside is quiet, with just a few sounds: crickets chirping, a cow mooing far away, the wind whispering through the straw roofs. It's a peaceful place, a safe place where Agnes can rest, even with her fears. Agnes thinks about her kids as she lies in bed. Tom is 5, always full of energy, dreaming of adventures. Leela is 3, quiet but curious, always wanting to be close to her mama. Their little bodies are warm against her, their breaths soft and steady. Agnes loves how they feel, how they make the bed feel alive. She thinks about the new baby, about how it will join them in this bed, squished in with the rest of the family. That thought makes her smile, but it also brings back the worry. What if the birth is hard? What if something goes wrong? She takes a deep breath, smelling the lavender, and listens to John's snores. The sounds help her feel calm, like the worries can wait until tomorrow. The bed is crowded, but that's what makes it special. John's big arm is heavy, but it feels like a shield, keeping Agnes safe. Tom's little snores are soft, like a puppy dreaming. Leela's foot kicks again, and Agnes gently moves it, her hand soft on her daughter's leg. The goat outside chews, its quiet munching a steady sound that blends with the night. Agnes feels the straw under her, rustling as she shifts. The blanket is scratchy, but it's warm, and the lavender smell is sweet, like a flower garden in her dreams. This is her bed, her family, her safe place. Let's picture the village at night. The houses are dark, with just the glow of fires inside. The paths are quiet, no footsteps now, just mud and puddles reflecting the stars. The sky is big, full of twinkling lights, like a blanket of diamonds. Agnes can't see the stars from inside, but she knows they're there, watching over the village. The crickets sing, their chirps soft and steady, like a lullaby. The goat chews and a dog barks far away, a low sound that fades into the night. The village is asleep, and Agnes is almost there, curled up with her family in their cozy bed. Agnes's worries about her baby are still there, like a shadow in the corner of her mind. She thinks about Ellen's stories, about the pain of birth, about the fear of something going wrong. But the bed helps her let those worries go. John snores, Tom's mumbles, Leela's little kicks, they're all part of her world, part of her love. The straw rustles, the blanket warms, the lavender smells sweet. Agnes feels the closeness of her family, and it's like a hug that never ends. She knows Ellen will be there when the baby comes, with her gentle hands and calm voice. She knows her neighbor, Mary, will help too, bringing soup or kind words. These thoughts make her feel strong, even when she's scared. The bed isn't big, but it's enough. It holds Agnes, John, Tom, and Leela all squished together like peas in a pod. The straw is pokey, the blanket is scratchy, but they work. They keep the family warm, keep them close. Agnes loves the feeling of her kids next to her, their little bodies wiggling in their sleep. She loves John's snores, even when they wake her up. She loves the goats quiet, chewing outside, like a friend who's part of the night. The bed is where they all come together, where they rest, where they feel safe. Let's imagine Agnes lying in the bed now. The straw rustles under her, a soft, crackly sound. The blanket is heavy, warming her shoulders. John's arm is across her, his snores steady like a heartbeat. Tom is curled up, his breath slow and soft. Leela's foot touches Agnes's side, a gentle kick that makes her smile. The lavender smell floats around, sweet and calm, like a flower in a dream. The fire is low, just embers, casting a soft glow. The house is quiet, except for the family's breaths and the goats chewing outside. Agnes feels the closeness, the love, the safety, and it makes her heart feel full. The worries about her baby are still there, but they're quieter now, softened by the bed, by her family. Agnes thinks about the day her baby will come, about holding it in this bed, about adding it to their crowded, cozy nest. She's scared, but she's hopeful too. She's done this before with Tom and Leela, and she can do it again. The bed will be there, holding them all, keeping them warm. Ellen will be there with her gentle hands. Mary will be there with her kind words. John will be there with his big smile. Agnes isn't alone, and the bed reminds her of that. The night is deep now, and the village is asleep. The crickets chirp, the wind whispers, the goat chews. Agnes listens to these sounds, to John's snores, to Tom and Leela's breaths. She feels the straw, the blanket, the lavender. The bed is crowded, but it's warm, alive with her family's love. She sighs a soft, cozy sigh and closes her eyes. Sleep is coming like a gentle wave carrying her away. The worries about her baby are still there, but they're small now, like stars fatting in the morning light. Let's picture the bed one more time. It's in the corner of the house, low and simple, with a wooden frame and a straw mattress. The blanket is wool, scratchy but warm, covering Agnes and her family. The lavender smell is sweet, floating like a dream. John snores, Tom mumbles, Leela kicks, and the goat chews outside. The bed is crowded, but it's full of love, full of safety. It's where Agnes rests, where her worries get quiet, where her family is close. It's not perfect, but it's enough. This story is about Agnes's bed, about who sleeps next to her, about the closeness that feels like love. It's about her village, her family, her fears, and her hope. It's about how the bed holds them all, keeping them warm, keeping them safe, even when Agnes is scared about her baby. It's about the sounds of the night, John's snores, Leela's kicks, the goat's chewing, that make her feel calm. So let's stay with Agnes, let's feel the warmth of the bed, the love of her family, and let her story wrap us up, like a soft blanket carrying us towards sleep. The night has settled over Agnes's little village, like a soft, dark blanket covering everything. The sun is gone and the sky is full of stars, twinkling like tiny candles far away. The village is quiet now, not like the busy daytime with kids running and chickens clucking. It's a calm, gentle time when the world feels small and safe. Agnes is in her house, lying in her bed with her family, her husband, John, and her kids, Tom and Leela. The bed is simple, just a wooden frame with straw and a scratchy wool blanket, but it's cozy, holding them all close. Agnes is tired from a long day of work, and she's expecting her third baby soon, which makes her feel both excited and scared. As she lies there, her eyes half closed, she listens to the sounds of the night, and they wrap around her like a lullaby, helping her worries fade. The village night is full of sounds, soft and quiet, like a song that only comes out when the world is still. The wind whispers through the thatch, the straw roof of Agnes's house. It makes a rustling sound, like someone brushing their hand over dry leaves. The wind is gentle, not loud or scary, just a soft breath that moves through the village, touching every house. Agnes loves that sound. It's like the night is talking to her, saying, "Everything is okay, Agnes. You can rest now." She listens, her head on the straw mattress, and feels the wind's whisper like a hug. Outside, a goat bleats. It sounds soft and far away. It's the goat tethered near Agnes's house, the one she milks every day. The bleat is low, like a little hum, as if the goat is saying good night. It's not loud enough to wake anyone, just a quiet part of the night's song. Agnes smiles when she hears it. The goat is her friend, always there, always chewing or bleating, making the world feel alive even in the dark. That sound reminds her of her village, of her home, of the simple life she loves, even when she's worried about her baby. Inside the house, the fire pops, a small, sharp sound like a twig snapping. The fire is low now, just embers glowing in the hearth, sending up tiny curls of smoke that drift to the hole in the roof. The popping happens when a bit of wood settles or a spark jumps, and it's a warm, friendly sound. Agnes likes the fire's pops. They're like little notes in the night's lullaby, telling her the house is cozy, that the embers are still keeping them warm. She listens, her eyes half closed, and the popping mixes with the wind's whisper and the goat's bleat, making a song that feels like home. Agnes is lying in bed, her body heavy from the day's work, carrying water, stirring pottage, sweeping the floor, and playing with Tom and Leela. Her back aches a little because she's carrying her baby, and her arms are sore from lifting heavy things. But the bed holds her, the straw rustling softly as she shifts. John is next to her, snoring gently, his breath like a slow, steady drum. Tom and Leela are curled up close, their little breaths quick and soft, like birds. Leela's foot touches Agnes's side, a gentle kick in her sleep, and Agnes smiles. These sounds, John's snores, the kids' breaths, the rustle of the straw are part of the night's song too, wrapping around her like a warm blanket. The sounds of the night are a lullaby, a quiet song that helps Agnes feel calm. She's been thinking about her baby a lot, especially after hearing stories from Ellen, the midwife. Ellen told her about births that were hard, about bobbies who didn't cry, about moms who got sick. Those stories make Agnes's heart race like a horse running fast. She worries about the pain, about whether her baby will be okay, about whether she'll be strong enough. But the night sounds, the wind, the goat, the fire, her family, help her worries get smaller, like clouds shrinking in the sky. They remind her that life goes on, that the village is still here, that she's not alone. Let's picture Agnes's house at night. It's small, with walls of mud and wood and a straw roof that whispers in the wind. The fire is low, just embers, casting a soft orange glow. The air smells like wood smoke and lavender because Agnes tucks dried lavender into the bed's corners. The bed is in the corner, crowded with Agnes, John, Tom, and Leela, all squished together under the wool blanket. The straw mattress rustles. The blanket is scratchy, but it's warm and cozy. Outside, the village is dark with just the glow of fires in other houses. The night is alive with its quiet sounds, like a gentle song that helps everyone sleep. Agnes listens to the wind whispering through the thatch. It's a soft, shushing sound like someone saying, "Hush, hush, go to sleep." She imagines the wind moving through the village, touching every house, every path, every field. It's a sound that makes her feel small but safe, like the world is big but holding her gently. She thinks about her baby, about the day it will come, and her heart beats a little faster. But the wind's whisper slows it down, like a hand smoothing her worries away. She takes a deep breath, smelling the lavender, and lets the sound carry her closer to sleep. The goat bleats again, soft and far off, like a little bell in the night. Agnes pictures the goat tied to its post, chewing grass or leaves, its big eyes looking at the stars. The bleat is a friendly sound, part of the village's life. It reminds Agnes of her work, milking the goat, feeding the chickens, taking care of her family. Those tasks make her tired, but they also make her strong. She thinks about her baby, about how it will grow up in this village, maybe helping with the goat someday. That thought makes her smile, but the worry is still there, like a shadow. The goat's bleat helps, though, like a friend saying, "Don't be scared, Agnes. Life goes on." The fire pops again, a tiny crackle that makes Agnes's eyes flutter. The embers are glowing, warm and soft, like little stars inside the house. The popping is irregular, sometimes quick, sometimes slow, but it's always there, part of the night's song. Agnes loves the fire. It's been with her all day, cooking her pottage, warming her hands, lighting her work. Now at night it's quiet, but it's still there, keeping the house cozy. She thinks about her baby, about the stories Ellen told, and her heart feels tight. But the fire's pops are like a promise, saying, "You're safe, Agnes. The night is kind." Agnes's family is part of the night sounds too. John's snores are steady, like waves on a shore, soft and calm. She feels his warmth next to her, his arm heavy across her side. Tom mumbles in his sleep, maybe dreaming of knights or dragons, his voice small and sweet. Leela's breaths are quick, like a little bird, and her foot kicks again, touching Agnes's side. These sounds are the best part of the night, because they're her family, her love, her life. They remind her that she's not alone, even when she's scared about her baby. She listens to their snores, their breaths, their little movements, and feels the bed rustle under them, like a gentle song. Let's imagine the village at night. The houses are dark, with just the soft glow of embers inside. The paths are quiet, no footsteps now, just mud and puddles under the stars. The fields are silent, the crops resting in the cool air. The sky is big, full of stars that shine like tiny lights. Agnes can't see them from her bed, but she knows they're there, watching over the village. The wind whispers, the goat bleats, the fire pops, and her family breathes. These sounds are the night's lullaby, wrapping the village in a quiet song that helps everyone sleep. Agnes's worries about her baby are still there, like a little cloud in her mind. She thinks about the pain of birth, about whether her baby will be strong, about whether she'll be okay. Ellen's stories make her heart race, but the night sounds help it slow down. The wind's whisper is like a mother's voice saying, "Hush, hush." The goat's bleat is like a friend saying, "I'm here." The fire's pops are like a warm hug saying, "You're safe." And her family's sounds, John's snores, Tom's mumbles, Leela's breaths, are like love saying, "We're with you." Agnes listens, her eyes half closed, and feels the worries get smaller, like stars fading at dawn. The bed is cozy, even if it's crowded. The straw rustles every time someone moves, a soft, crackly sound that mixes with the night's song. The wool blanket is scratchy, but it's warm, covering Agnes and her family like a big, heavy hug. The lavender smell is sweet, floating around like a dream, calming Agnes's heart. She feels John's warmth, hears his snores, and knows he's there, strong and steady. She feels Leela's foot, hears Tom's mumbles, and knows her kids are safe, dreaming beside her. The bed holds them all, keeping them close, keeping them warm, even when Agnes's worries try to creep in. Agnes thinks about her life as she listens to the night. She thinks about her village with its muddy paths and straw roofs. She thinks about her work carrying water, stirring pottage, taking care of her family. She thinks about her kids, Tom and Leela, who make her laugh and make her tired. She thinks about John with his big smile and gentle hands. And she thinks about her baby, the one coming soon, who will join them in this bed, in this village, in this life. She's scared, but the night sounds remind her that life goes on, that the village is still here, that her family is close. The wind whispers again, rustling the thatch, and Agnes imagines it moving through the village, touching every house. It's a sound that makes her feel small but safe, like the world is big but kind. The goat bleats soft and far off, and Agnes pictures it chewing under the stars. The fire pops a tiny crackle, and she sees the embers glowing warm and soft. John snores, Tom mumbles, Leela breathes, and the straw rustles. These sounds are her lullaby, her comfort, her home. They help her worries about her baby fade, like a dream that slips away when you wake up. Let's picture Agnes now, lying in her bed. Her eyes are half closed, her body heavy from the day's work. The straw mattress rustles under her, the wool blanket is warm, the lavender smell is sweet. John's snores are steady like a heartbeat. Tom's mumbles are soft like a whisper. Leela's foot touches her side, a gentle kick in her sleep. The wind whispers, the goat bleats, the fire pops. The night is alive with its quiet song, wrapping Agnes in a lullaby that makes her feel safe. She's scared about her baby, but the sounds remind her that life goes on, that she's strong, that she's not alone. The village is asleep now, with just the night sounds filling the air. The crickets chirp, their song soft and steady like a heartbeat. The wind moves through the thatch, whispering its hush. The goat bleats a quiet good night. The fire pops a warm note in the dark. Agnes listens, her heart slowing, her worries fading. She thinks about Ellen, the midwife, who will help when the baby comes. She thinks about Mary, her neighbor, who will bring kind words or soup. She thinks about John, Tom, and Leela, who are with her now, their warmth filling the bed. These thoughts make her feel strong, even when her heart races with worry. The night sounds are like a gift, a gentle song that helps Agnes rest. They remind her that the village is alive, that her family is close, that life goes on. She feels the straw, the blanket, the lavender. She hears the wind, the goat, the fire, her family. Her eyes close, and sleep comes like a soft wave washing over her. The worries about her baby are still there, but they're small now, softened by the night's lullaby. Agnes is safe, loved, and ready to rest. This story is about the sounds of night, about how they wrap Agnes in a quiet song. It's about her village, her family, her fears, and her hope. It's about how the wind, the goat, the fire, and her family's breaths make a lullaby that helps her sleep, even when she's scared about her baby. It's about how life goes on, steady and calm, like the night's gentle sounds. So let's stay with Agnes, let's listen to the night's lullaby, and let her story wrap us up like a soft blanket carrying us towards sleep. It's the middle of the night in Agnes's little village, and the world is dark and quiet, wrapped in a soft blanket of stars. The houses are still, with only the faint glow of embers from fires inside. The paths are empty, the chickens are asleep, and even the goat is quiet, resting under the night sky. Agnes is in her bed, a simple wooden frame stuffed with straw covered with a scratchy wool blanket. She's curled up with her family, her husband John and her kids Tom and Leela, all close and warm. Agnes is expecting her third baby soon, and her body is tired from a long day of work. But now in the dark, she wakes up not scared or startled, just awake. This happens sometimes, and it's normal. Sleep comes in pieces, like a quilt made of patches, and Agnes knows it will come back. Agnes lies still, her eyes open in the dark. The house is quiet, but not silent. She hears the soft breaths of her family beside her like a gentle song. John's breath is slow and steady, mixed with a soft snore like a river flowing over stones. Tom's breath is small and quick, like a mouse scampering. Leela's breath is even softer, with a little sigh now and then like a breeze through grass. These sounds are familiar, like the smell of lavender tucked into the bed's corners or the rustle of the straw when someone moves. They make Agnes feel safe, like she's wrapped in a warm hug, even though she's awake in the middle of the night. The bed is crowded, with all four of them squished together. The straw mattress is pokey, not soft like a cloud, but it holds them up, cradling them like the earth holds a seed. The wool blanket is heavy and scratchy, but it's warm, keeping out the cool night air. Agnes feels John's arm heavy across her side and Leela's little foot touching her leg, a gentle kick in her sleep. Tom is curled up near John, his small body warm and still. The closeness feels like love, like a cozy nest where everyone is safe. Agnes listens to their breaths and it helps her heart feel calm, even though she's thinking about her baby. Agnes's baby is coming soon, and that thought is always with her, like a shadow that follows her around. She's excited to meet it, to hold its tiny hands, to hear its cries. She imagines it sleeping in this bed, squished in with the rest of the family, its little breaths joining the night's song. But she's scared too. She's heard stories from Ellen, the midwife, about births that were hard, about bobbies who didn't cry, about moms who got sick. Those stories make her heart beat fast, like a bird flapping its wings. Lying awake in the dark, those worries feel bigger, like they're filling the room, but Agnes knows how to make them smaller. She listens to the sounds around her, breathes deeply, and lets her mind drift. Agnes whispers a prayer, her voice so soft it's barely a sound. It's a simple prayer, one she said before, asking for her baby to be strong, for her to be strong, for everything to be okay. The words are like a little light in the dark, pushing the worries away. She says them slowly, her lips moving, her heart feeling lighter with each word. The prayer is like a warm blanket wrapping around her, making her feel safe. She finishes, takes a deep breath, and listens to the night again. There's no rush. The night is long and sleep will come back, like a friend who never stays away for too long. The house is full of quiet sounds, like a gentle lullaby. The wind whispers outside, rustling the straw roof, a soft shushing sound like someone saying, "Hush, hush." It's a kind sound, like the wind is singing to the village, telling everyone to rest. Agnes loves the wind's whisper. It makes her feel small but safe, like the world is big but gentle. She imagines the wind moving through the village, touching every house, every path, every field. It's a sound that says life goes on, even when her heart is worried about her baby. Somewhere outside, the goat bleats, a soft, low sound like a little hum. It's the goat tethered near the house, maybe waking for a moment, chewing grass or looking at the stars. The bleat is quiet, not loud enough to wake anyone, just a small note in the night's song. Agnes smiles when she hears it. The goat is her friend, always there, always making its funny sounds. It reminds her of her work, milking the goat, feeding the chickens, taking care of her family. Those tasks make her tired, but they also make her strong. The goat's bleat helps her worries feel smaller, like it's saying, "Don't be scared, Agnes, I'm here." Inside, the fire pops, a tiny crackle from the embers in the hearth. The fire is low now, just glowing softly, sending up curls of smoke that drift to the hole in the roof. The popping is a warm sound, like a friend tapping gently on the door. Agnes likes the fire's pops. They're part of her house, part of her night, like John's snores or Leela's sighs. The fire has been with her all day, cooking her pottage, warming her hands, and now it's quiet, but still there, keeping the house cozy. The pops are like a promise, saying, "You're safe, Agnes. The night is kind." Agnes listens to these sounds. The winds whisper, the goats bleat, the fires pop, and they wrap around her like a soft blanket. They're her lullaby, helping her heart slow down, helping her worries fade. She thinks about her baby, about the stories she's heard, and her prayer feels stronger now, like a light that won't go out. She feels the straw under her rustling softly and the wool blanket warm and heavy. She smells the lavender, sweet and calm, like flowers in a dream. The bed holds her family, their breaths mixing with the night's sounds, and it makes her feel safe even in the dark. Let's picture Agnes's house at midnight. It's small, with walls of mud and wood and a straw roof that rustles in the wind. The fire is low, just embers, casting a soft glow that dances on the walls. The air smells like wood smoke and lavender, a cozy mix that makes you want to close your eyes. The bed is in the corner, crowded with Agnes, John, Tom, and Leela, all squished together under the blanket. The straw rustles, the blanket is scratchy, but it's warm, and the lavender smell is sweet. Outside, the village is dark, with only the stars for light. The night is alive with its quiet sounds, like a gentle song that helps everyone rest. Agnes's family is part of the night sounds too. John's snores are soft, like a steady drum, slow and calm. She feels his warmth, his arm heavy across her, and it's like a shield, keeping her safe. Tom mumbles in his sleep, maybe dreaming of knights or dragons, his voice small and sweet. Leela's breaths are quick, like a little bird, and her foot kicks again, touching Agnes's side. These sounds are the best part of the night, because they're her family, her love, her life. They remind her that she's not alone, even when she's awake in the dark, worrying about her baby. Agnes thinks about her kids as she lies there. Tom is 5, always running and laughing, full of big dreams. Leela is 3, quiet but curious, always wanting to be close to her mama. Their breaths are soft, their bodies warm, and they make the bed feel alive. Agnes imagines her new baby joining them, its tiny breaths mixing with theirs, its little body squished in the bed. That thought makes her heart feel big, but it also brings back the worry. What if the birth is hard? What if something goes wrong? She whispers her prayer again, soft and slow, and listens to the night sounds. The wind, the goat, the fire, her family, they help the worries get smaller, like stars fatting at dawn. The village is asleep now, with just the night sounds filling the air. The crickets chirp outside, their song soft and steady like a heartbeat. The wind moves through the thatch, whispering its hush. The goat bleats a quiet good night. The fire pops a warm note in the dark. Agnes listens, her eyes half closed, her body sinking into the straw. The sounds are like a gift, a gentle song that helps her rest. They remind her that the village is alive, that her family is close, that life goes on even when she's scared. Agnes's worries about her baby are still there, like a little shadow in her mind. She thinks about the pain of birth, about whether her baby will be strong, about whether she'll be okay. Ellen's stories make her heart feel tight, but the night sounds help it loosen. The wind's whisper is like a mother's voice saying, hush, hush. The goat's bleat is like a friend saying, I'm here. The fire's pops are like a warm hug saying, you're safe. And her family's sounds, John's snores, Tom's mumbles, Leela's breaths, are like love saying, we're with you. Agnes listens, her heart slowing, her worries fatting. The bed is cozy, even if it's crowded. The straw rustles every time someone moves, a soft, crackly sound that mixes with the night's song. The wool blanket is scratchy, but it's warm, covering Agnes and her family like a big hug. The lavender smell is sweet, floating like a dream, calming her heart. She feels John's warmth, hears his snores, and knows he's there, strong and steady. She feels Leela's foot, hears Tom's mumbles, and knows her kids are safe, dreaming beside her. The bed holds them all, keeping them close, keeping them warm, even when Agnes's worries try to creep in. Agnes lets her mind drift, like a leaf floating on a stream. She thinks about her village, with its muddy paths and straw roofs. She thinks about her work, carrying water, stirring pottage, taking care of her family. She thinks about Tom and Leela, who make her laugh and make her tired. She thinks about John with his big smile and gentle hands. And she thinks about her baby, the one coming soon, who will join them in this bed, in this village, in this life. She's scared, but the night sounds remind her that life goes on, that the village is still here, that her family is close. The wind whispers again, rustling the thatch, and Agnes imagines it moving through the village, touching every house. It's a sound that makes her feel small but safe, like the world is big but kind. The goat bleats soft and far off, and Agnes pictures it chewing under the stars. The fire pops a tiny crackle, and she sees the embers glowing, warm and soft. John snores, Tom mumbles, Leela breathes, and the straw rustles. These sounds are her lullaby, her comfort, her home. They help her worries about her baby fade, like a dream that slips away when you wake. Let's picture Agnes now, lying in her bed. Her eyes are half closed, her body soft and heavy on the straw mattress. The wool blanket is warm, the lavender smell is sweet, like a flower in her dreams. John's snores are steady, like a heartbeat. Tom's mumbles are soft, like a whisper. Leela's foot touches her side, a gentle nudge in her sleep. The wind whispers, the goat bleats, the fire pops, the crickets chirp. The sounds are a quiet song, wrapping around Agnes, making her feel safe. She's scared about her baby, but the night holds her gently, like a mother's arms, promising that sleep will come back. Agnes's prayer is done, and she feels lighter now, like a weight has slipped off her shoulders. The night is long, and there's no rush. She knows sleep will return, soft and slow, like a friend who always comes back. The sounds of the night, the wind, the goat, the fire, her family, are her lullaby, helping her drift closer to sleep. She thinks about Ellen, who will help when the baby comes, with her gentle hands and calm voice. She thinks about Mary, her neighbor, who will bring kind words or soup. She thinks about John, Tom, and Leela, who are with her now, their warmth filling the bed. These thoughts make her feel strong, even when her heart races with worry. The village is deep in sleep now, with only the night sounds left. The crickets chirp, the wind whispers, the goat bleats, the fire pops. Agnes listens, her heart calm, her worries small. She feels the straw, the blanket, the lavender. She She hears her family's breaths, the night's gentle song. Her eyes close, and sleep comes like a soft wave washing over her. The worries about her baby are still there, but they're quiet now, softened by the night's lullaby. Agnes is safe, loved, and resting in the dark. This story is about Agnes's midnight break, about waking in the dark and listening to the night. It's about her village, her family, her fears, and her hope. It's about how the sounds of the night, the wind, the goat, the fire, her family's breaths make a lullaby that helps her rest, even when she's scared about her baby. It's about how life goes on, steady and calm, like the night's gentle sounds. So let's stay with Agnes, let's listen to the night's lullaby, and let her story wrap us up like a soft blanket carrying us towards sleep. It's deep in the night in Agnes's little village, and the world is quiet, wrapped in a soft, dark blanket. The houses are still, their straw roofs rustling softly in the wind. The paths are empty, the chickens are asleep, and the goat is resting under the stars. Agnes is in her bed, a simple wooden frame stuffed with straw, covered with a scratchy wool blanket that smells faintly of lavender. She's curled up with her family, her husband John and her kids, Tom and Leela, all warm and close, their breaths soft in the dark. Agnes is expecting her third baby soon, and her body is tired from a long day of work, carrying water, stirring pottage, and chasing after her kids. Above the thatch roof of her house, the sky is vast, speckled with stars like tiny lights scattered across a big, dark cloth. Agnes doesn't see them now, lying in her bed, but she knows they're there, shining down on the village, and that thought makes her feel small but safe, like the world is holding her gently. Agnes loves the stars, even though she can't see them from inside her house. On clear nights, when the clouds are gone and the sky is open, she likes to step outside and look up. The stars twinkle bright and quiet, like little promises in the dark. They make her feel small, like she's just a tiny part of something big, but they also make her feel held, like the sky is watching over her. The stars are always there, night after night, no matter what happens in the village. They were there when Tom was born, when Leela was born, and they'll be there when her new baby comes. They remind Agnes that life goes on, that babies are born, that some nights are hard, but the sky stays the same, steady and calm. Tonight, Agnes is inside, lying in her crowded bed. The straw mattress rustles under her, a soft, crackly sound like dry leaves. The wool blanket is heavy, keeping her warm, and the lavender tucked into the corners gives off a sweet, flowery smell that makes her feel calm. John is next to her, snoring softly, his breath like a slow, steady drum. Tom is curled up near him, his small breaths quick and light like a bird. Leela is close to Agnes, her little foot touching her side, kicking gently in her sleep. The bed is small for all four of them, but it's cozy, like a nest full of love. Agnes listens to their breaths, feels their warmth, and thinks about the stars outside, shining above the thatch roof. The thatch is the straw that covers Agnes's house, woven together to keep out the rain and wind. It's rough and scratchy like the blanket, but it's strong, holding up against the weather. At night, the wind whispers through the thatch, making a soft, shushing sound like someone saying, "Hush, hush, go to sleep." Agnes loves that sound. It's part of her house, part of her night, like John's snores or the smell of lavender. The thatch keeps her safe, but it also hides the stars, so Agnes can't see them now. Still, she knows they're there, twinkling in the vast sky, and that thought makes her heart feel warm, like sitting by a fire on a cold day. Agnes thinks about the times she stood outside, looking at the stars. On clear nights, she'd wrap her shawl around her shoulders and step out into the yard. The air would be cool, smelling of grass and earth, and the village would be quiet, with only the soft sounds of night, crickets chirping, a goat bleating far away, the wind whispering. She'd look up and the sky would stretch out forever, full of stars, like a big, dark blanket covered in sparkles. The stars would twinkle, some bright, some faint, and Agnes would feel small, like a tiny seed in a big field. But she'd also feel held, like the sky was a big, gentle hand keeping her safe. The stars are like promises to Agnes. They promise that the world will keep going, that the sun will rise, that life will continue. They were there when she was a little girl, playing in the village with her friends. They were there when she married John, when she held Tom and Leela for the first time. They'll be there when her new baby is born, whether it's an easy night or a hard one. Agnes is scared about her baby because she's heard stories from Ellen, the midwife, about births that were hard, about bobbies who didn't cry, about moms who got sick. Those stories make her heart feel tight, like a knot in a rope, but the thought of the stars helps her feel better, like a light that pushes away the dark. Lying in bed now, Agnes imagines the sky above the thatch. She pictures the stars twinkling softly like little lights that never go out. She can't see them, but she knows they're there, just like she knows her family is with her, their breaths filling the dark. The wind whispers through the thatch, a soft sound that mixes with John's snores and the rustle of the straw. Somewhere outside, a goat bleats, a quiet, faraway sound like a little hum. The fire in the hearth pops, a tiny crackle from the embers, warm and gentle. These sounds are the night's song, a lullaby that wraps around Agnes, helping her worries fade. Agnes's baby is on her mind, as it always is. She's excited to meet it, to hold it in her arms, to see its tiny face. She imagines it sleeping in this bed, squished in with John, Tom, and Leela, its little breaths joining theirs. But she's scared too. The stories from Ellen make her heart race like a rabbit running from danger. She worries about the pain, about whether her baby will be strong, about whether she'll be okay. Those worries feel big in the dark, like shadows growing on the walls. But the thought of the stars shining above the thatch helps her feel calm. They're like a promise that life will go on, that the sky will stay, that she's not alone. Agnes takes a deep breath, smelling the lavender in the bed. The sweet, flowery scent is like a hug, making her heart slow down. She listens to the night sounds, the winds whisper, the goats bleat, the fires pop, her family's breaths. They're all part of the lullaby, like the stars are part of the sky. She thinks about the times she stood outside, feeling small but held by the darkness. The stars were always there, steady and bright, like friends who never leave. They'll be there when her baby comes, watching over her village, over her house, over her bed. Let's picture Agnes's house at night. It's small, with walls of mud and wood and a straw roof that rustles in the wind. The fire is low, just embers glowing in the hearth, sending up tiny curls of smoke. The air smells like wood smoke and lavender, a cozy mix that makes you want to close your eyes. The bed is in the corner, crowded with Agnes, John, Tom, and Leela, all warm under the wool blanket. The straw rustles, the blanket is scratchy, but it's cozy like a nest. Outside, the village is dark, with only the stars for light. The sky is vast, speckled with twinkling stars, like a big, dark cloth covered in sparkles. Agnes's family is part of the night song too. John's snores are soft, like a steady heartbeat, warm and calm. She feels his arm heavy across her, and it's like a shield keeping her safe. Tom's breaths are quick, like a little bird, and he mumbles sometimes, maybe dreaming of knights or dragons. Leela's breaths are softer, with a little sigh, and her foot kicks Agnes's side, a gentle nudge in her sleep. These sounds are the best part of the night, because they're her family, her love, her life. They remind her that she's not alone, even when she's scared about her baby. Agnes thinks about her kids as she lies in bed. Tom is 5, always running and laughing, full of big dreams. Leela is 3, quiet but curious, always wanting to be close to her mama. Their breaths are soft, their bodies warm, and they make the bed feel alive. Agnes imagines her new baby joining them, its tiny breaths mixing with theirs, its little body squished in the bed. That thought makes her heart feel big, but it also brings back the worry. What if the birth is hard? What if something goes wrong?